Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Yeah, hello, what is up everybody? Welcome to another day of StarCraft 2. With me today is none other than the one and only lovely man himself. It is Snoopy.
Hey, hope you guys are having a great one.
Well, if they're not, they are about to be, sure as. I'm pretty certain of that one. There we go, that's my camera. Alright, my hair is a bit pointy at the top, but it looks okay. There we go. It's fixed. It's all fixed now. Just a little patting down in there. We have it. Just a small airport pat down on top of my head, and we're good again. Anyway, we apparently have a 5-minute delay already, right off the bat. TY is already playing something, and he's playing this DRG at the moment, which. You know what, also a pretty cool matchup, but yeah, TY versus Trap is what we're going to be casting here. And it should be coming up immediately afterwards, so they are talking about like a 5-minute delay here. Small 5 minutes, but that gives us a little bit of time to talk about stuff, I suppose, Snoopy. Like, for example, this tournament. There's quite a good couple of things coming up in this tournament, I'd say. Let me just fix this little thing on the screen, actually. Yeah, if you guys aren't aware, this is going to be a multi-day tournament overall in, well, honor of the great CynicalDeath, the sword of Liquipedia, I think people call him, right?
Yeah, the king or the sword.
The king or the sword, exactly. He has, I believe, the most updates on Liquipedia, and if he hasn't, well, then why are we even hosting this tournament for him in the first place? But anyway,
He did say that he was the first one to get over 100k edits in Wikipedia, so that's pretty impressive.
It's nuts, and he always thanks us for it because we always keep him busy with the with the events that AlphaX hosts. I believe we're a large majority of all his edits. But yeah, all right. Anyway, the tournament. Let me guys take you quickly into this screen over here. There we go. As you can see, it's a multi-day tournament. We're starting today. Next day is tomorrow. And these are all the players. There's some pretty stellar players. Anyone you're in particularly keen to see here?
Well, I mean, there are so many great players. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see all of them. I think we do have a really nice mix of Korean and foreigners. So I think there's a good variety of races and as well as Korean and foreigners.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think actually I haven't casted Clem for a while. I've casted him right on the verge of when he really started to just take tournaments left, right, and center. Right, when he really was up and coming in a way. And ever since then, I haven't really been seeing him that much on my own stream here, but I'm very happy to see him again. Rainer as well, one of those players. I haven't really gotten to see him that much. Actually, I'm not even sure if I've ever casted Rainer.
Yeah, I don't think he plays a lot of our tournament, but I'm happy that he is playing in this one.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. He's gonna have to go up against Zest first and foremost. Let's hope that goes as well for him as it did for Thermal recently. Did you see any of the matches of TSL or?
No, I did not see it yet.
No? Oh my god, Thermal. I don't know what happened, but he 3-0'd Zest. Well, I saw what was happening. I still don't know what really happened, honestly. Thermal just did builds. Zest never really accounted for the builds being a thing, apparently. Even though a lot of the 2 out of 3 builds came from the Korean server, so and he got them from builds from Koreans that used it against him. So it was a little bit weird that he didn't really see it coming. But anyway, so it's lovely. A little bit of Dutch pride there for me, shining through. Anyway, we have today TY, Trap, Elaser, and Estrella. Of course, Estrella, a fellow Alpha Axis. So we are going to be hoping that he is going to be doing well here. Otherwise, anyone in today's group that you're a big fan of?
Well, you know, being that Australia is from my own team, of course I'm rooting for my boy Australia. But yeah, I do think a lot of people are excited to see players like TY and the Laser, as they're more excuse me, they're more established players and have a more established history.
Yeah, I agree. And Trap, of course, also, I'm sure there's some people are very excited to see him play here. And honestly, the favorites probably are TY and Trap, right? You would assume just by seeing these 4 players. But then, well, Elaser did take on Serral recently. It was a 3-2, but you know, and it is of course ZVZ, so a lot can happen in ZVZ. Serral did play a little bit offbeat of his regular pace, but still beating Serral not too shabby. Shows that you're doing this stuff right?
Yeah, and speaking of being Serral, I think like you mentioned, Clem. I think this year has been a really great year for Clem, at least from the start. I remember there was a tournament a little while ago where he beat both Rainer and Serral in the same tournament, so that was pretty sick. And yeah, I'm excited to see Clem play later in Group C, which will be on Wednesday. No, not Wednesday, Thursday, I believe, right?
Yeah. Actually, wait, hold up. It's the May 23rd.
Oh no, that's
Saturday.
Saturday. All right.
Yeah, Saturday. We have a little bit of an intermission. Don't worry though. On Friday we still have more StarCraft 2 as well with the previous tournament. It's also still ongoing. So yeah, we're gonna start with Group Stage 2 with that previous tournament, as this tournament also is starting off, which is kind of fun. Actually, we were talking about this earlier. This is we were hosting the biggest tournament we've ever did for like 10K dollars just overall as a prize pool, right, to be distributed, and we were very happy about that one. And blammo, in comes the tournament for 2K as a minimum prize pool, and yeah, I mean it's already starting mid tournament. That was record breaking for us, the most massive one we've already done, so we're very happy to have this one now as well. Already starting up, so you know what, there's not that much downtime. I even took free from or off of work today for this one, so I hope you guys appreciate that as well, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, and just taking a look at the kind of the prize pool breakdown here, we do see that the top 8 will at least go home with a minimum of $75. 7th and 8th place will go home $75, and then 5th and 6th place will bump up to $100. 3rd and 4th place will double that, go up to $200. 2nd place will again double that into $400, and then 1st place with a nice massive whop of $850 there.
Not too bad. You know what? If I could, I would like to aim for that 1st place. Of course, I'm horrible at the game, so it's not gonna happen just quite yet. But
I believe in you, Kozen.
Maybe the people of today here will have a shot. Of course, only 2 of them will be able to advance forwards. Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to put my favorites here on TY and Estrella. TY always is such a brainy man. I always love to see him. And I hope TY and Estrella move onwards. And I also, you know what, just as a little sprinkle of extra hope, I'm hoping that we get to see Elaser versus TY as well, because that would be a match I would really love to see here. But, you know what, fingers crossed. That might not happen, of course, at all. They might just completely miss one another. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. What's up, Sun Lily? Sun Lily joining in the chat.
Hey, Sun Lily.
Nice. Nice. We are re-invited again.
If you guys don't know who Sun Lily is, she's our team's graphic designer and has made or created the lovely graphics and overlays for us.
Look at it in all its glory. It's great. Yeah, it's really good. Always nice to have so much talent under one roof and helping out the scene. Anyway, we have entered the lobby here.
Yeah, I think we got to remake this probably, as there's no WCS mod here.
Oi, 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 oi. Inu.
Oh.
Inu. Our Korean host here. He's a very nice guy. Sometimes he forgets WCS though. It happens sometimes. Right, leaving the lobby. Anyway, yeah, TY is here now. They've done all their vetoes as well. Simulacrum will be our first match, followed up by Eternal Empire, and thirdly we will have Nightshade, if we ever get there, of course. I'm kind of interested in seeing which maps they ban as well, right? So, TY starting off with vetoing Everdream. That's interesting. It's a big map. It favors macro play, right? Purity and Zen, two maps that, well, you know what, I can see how they kind of favor Terran in a way. So they get banned by Trap. TY banning Golden Wall as well, which is more of a map where you could do a couple of fancy, weird early on strategies. So getting a big mixed messaging there from TY, but maybe he just likes a little bit more open. And then a final ban from... no, wait, actually, that's already, of course, Everdream. Oh, wait, Everdream, sorry. Everdream was banned first and foremost by TY. And then TY selected Eternal. Okay, so he did actually like to have the big open macro map, actually. Alright, so my bad. I was thinking about it, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised too much. In the previous tournament, TY is also participating. He managed to advance, but he managed to advance with using a whole lot of early on tactics, right? It was very aggressive, straight off the bat, just coming in and smashing down doors with a lot of aggression. And I was wondering if we were going to be seeing that again today. And, well, with the ban on Eternal, what I thought it was, I thought, well, that could be a sign for what's to come here. But Everdream a little bit smaller, I suppose. A little bit more capable for those proxy racks. And that's what he banned. So maybe we're going to get to see the opposite here. Who knows? He's sure as hell capable, right, of doing both.
yeah, we'll see. We are starting our first game here on Simulacrum. And here we go.
There we go. Loading on up. Of course, hey, TVP. These guys probably match against one another quite a lot on the Korean ladder. Trap, often considered to be the best PV tier in the world, right? But could you really consider TY to be a part of that regular Terran bunch? I think he sometimes is a little bit of a class on his own, if that makes sense. Because he is such a player that mostly uses his brain. Like his mechanics and everything, very solid. But he's not one of those guys that I kind of see as just... grinding out one or two builds, right? And then just keep using those over and over again. I more to see him as the guy that just likes to innovate in a way and try to come up with new things, new strategies, and catch their opponents off guard through that way. Alright. Anyway, let's do some introductions here, Snoopy.
Alrighty. You want to go first, or I go first, or?
Well, actually, you go first with the top left, because I still gotta do Trap's little
sure.
Here.
Alright, here, spawning at the top left corner of the map, we have our blue Terran player. It is TY.
Right. Still gotta change the name. Hold up, guys. Hold up. It's not Creator. It is, in fact, Trap. There we go. He's a little bit of a heavy hitter. More of a heavy hitter than Creator, I'd say. Is the one and only Jinna Green Wings is Red Brodels. In the bottom right side, can he bring another victory in his PVT records? He is a trap. I'm still surprised every time I look on Liquipedia and I see TY is teamless, actually.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was taking a look at the overall participants list, and out of all the participants we have in this tournament, TY is the only one without a team. So
Yeah.
hopefully he'll find a team soon rather than later.
Maybe he just doesn't want a team at this point. I'm wondering, like, well, he must get offers, right? He's one of the most solid players. He's one of the most fan favorites. Especially now that he's casting as well and streaming as much, I would assume that, you know, his fan support is just growing and growing overall. And yeah, just not happening quite yet. And it shows that you don't really need a team anymore in this environment at the time where, you know what, everybody's so interconnected already. And it's only one of the really big setup teams. He is part of the Into the Clan community. So maybe that is where he's getting his insights and getting his practice partners from.
Yeah, that's possibly. I mean, I think over the years, I don't doubt he'll have any trouble finding any practice partners. I'm sure he's got a lot of friends to do so. But we do see this little probe here. We'll sneakily get into this natural, possibly delay this natural from building. Ooh, it's going to be close. Oh, just barely.
Almost. Second SCV does come down as well. Throws down that safety bunker. Luckily for TY, he kept that Reaper close by, realizing that was a possibility to occur. But yeah, just in the nick of time, like you said. Barely inching it into his favor there. Alright, shade of that Adept also staying at home so far. Doesn't want to give that Reaper too much free room now to maneuver. From chat, we're seeing the regular Twilight opening. There is the Blink as well. Not too surprising, I'd say. Something a little bit surprising is the double Rax opening from TY, right? Does point towards a little bit of early aggression here. Wants to ramp up the Marine count. And I believe we have seen a bit more of the... I think it was with TY, where it may have been actually. It may have been another person. Anyway, where we have seen the Terrans going for the quick early stim, and then just, I think, 1 or 2 medevacs filled with Marines very early on, instead of like a Widowmine drop, right? I think actually it was TY, and it was on this map actually as well. What he did, he just tried to do a lot of pressure with the Marines early on, right? Tried to take on a lot of sentries as well, as per usual. You'll see the Protoss players get a ton of sentries early on. So that they will be able to control these ramps over here, right? Because, well, you kind of need them if the Terran is going to do siege tank pushes and stuff like that with Marines later on, which is a really big deal these days. A lot of people love doing that. Then those force fields, they can buy you like 1 or 2, maybe even 3 extra warp-in rounds before you actually have to commit to an engagement, and that is massive. Now, if you lose a lot of those sentries because a double medevac drop with a lot of Marines, then that is a big deal as well. Now, of course, if TY isn't going to get right close to those sentries, he's not going to try to gun them down. But I am very curious to see, though, if he is going to attempt to really get on top of them. And how much he's really willing to commit. As we don't really have that many sentries from Trap just yet.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. The 2 medevacs have just popped out. And we shall see him fly over. Blink is finished. It just finished. So Trap will have the ability to blink on top of these medevacs if need be, but the question is, can he spot it in time before this he ravages this third base here?
He does see the double barracks here, so I would assume that he kind of has an inkling. He also sees the tag lab on the factory there, but we'll have to wait and see. Indeed, he is spread out a little bit here with his stalkers, 2 in the main base, ready to kind of jump on stuff. And there's the attack with the Marines coming and taking on a pylon first and foremost. Now just wants to trade pretty reasonably well with the gateway units. Yeah, there's not that many sentries here, but you know, killing off a couple of stalkers here as well could be beneficial, of course.
Oh, those 3 Marines get left behind.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. Left in the dirt. But the rest do manage to get out, so that's, you know what, overall, let's take a look at the units lost tab here. Not really in his favor. Only getting 1 stalker there, actually. bit less nice than I thought it could be. And that might give it a little bit of a dent as well, actually, into the push that is coming up here with the siege tanks. At least
Yeah,
I'm
I think that's
assuming he's going to push out with them, right?
yeah. I mean, the siege tank follow-up will probably be the main thing that TY is looking for to do damage, significant damage, to Trap. I mean, Trap does have his dirt base up and running, while TY has not planted down his dirt base, so he definitely will need to make some good damage with this tank push. But some nice pickup here by Trap, getting some nice marine with some nice blink control there.
Yeah, this is massive. This is what you have to do, of course, as the Protoss continuously pressure the Terran push coming in. There's a lot of SCVs. Jeez, Lou. Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my.
Okay, Trap positioning his dogs behind the rest of this push, so he will be able to come in later on at some point. Now we have the 3 sentries, actually, and we will see the power of these force fields, of course. Yeah, immediately already kind of delaying the amount of that those SCVs can do, already getting himself an extra warp in. CY needs to not overcommit, of course, to this high ground ramp, as those dogs are still behind him. Actually, those dogs are just aiming for reinforcements. That might be a mistake, because the siege tanks, they did manage to get quite a bit of value here, shooting away at the zealots, not really allowing them to fully commit to the marines here. And the stocks are just still sitting there.
Yeah, but all the SCVs are gone. So if he can get on top of these tanks with these stalkers and then clean up the rest of the marines and the natural, I feel like he should be in a good position.
Let's hope so. And there's still 4 of those siege tanks, of course. To be fair, after losing 24 SCVs on the other side of the map here, trying to break his opponent, you gotta do damage here yourself as well. Coming in with a lot of marines. There's still 1 immortal, the shield battery recharged, but only 3 energy left on that boy. QI wants to get in here. He's targeting the robotics facility a little bit. Okay, I think, you know what, I think Trap may have just enough here to hold on. Just only marines remaining here. TY backs off. Alright. So, yeah, that's obviously not very good for TY. Didn't really get any damage on it. He's gonna go for wave number 2. You know what? Maybe these boys will be better than the previous ones.
Well, you know what they say. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
It's that is, of course, the famous StarCraft 2 saying. Oh. That hurts Medevac a little bit far forwards there. He is committing one more time. Only is, well, actually 2 immortals here. Third one a little bit further away, but the Marines do get on top of the first one with like 3 shield batteries. Yeah, it's hard to imagine anything really breaking for Trap, and GG is called immediately. Alright, so Trap, yeah, takes game number 1 here. Yeah, I personally, I do think a lot of that came down to that first initial engagement with TY, his Marines. Why is this? Okay, there we go. We're back. Yeah, the first initial Marines, right? They didn't really get the damage they needed to do. And I like the preparation for Trap as well. He kind of went with a lot more Stalker-heavy opening, right? Stayed on his side of the map after seeing with the hallucination kind of what was coming his way, most likely. It could have also, of course, been a Widowmine drop, so he kind of wanted to be safe for that one as well. Held it off marvelously. And yeah, then afterwards, there just wasn't that much to fall back on for TY. Just took too much damage from those initial Marines. This push wasn't as strong. He didn't do enough damage to the initial gateway unit, so, you know, he didn't even kill a single sentry. And that kind of really stumps the overall, yeah, ground that you can gain with that second follow-up push.
Yeah, I feel like with that kind of build, I think even in TVZ as well, when you go for that 2 barracks, 2 medevac marine push, you gotta get significant damage, or at least really good decent damage in the initial stim.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you get quite behind a little bit, and with the TY not getting anything done except a pylon and a stalker with that, that allowed Trap to kind of continuously mine from that dirt base and get the production up to make the additional gateway units to defend,
Yep.
and that was pretty much over after that.
Yep. Like I said as well, I thought the Stalkers were a little bit on the wrong side of the fence there for a while, maybe. You know what, just trying to intercept the reinforcements. I wasn't quite sure if that was going to be enough. It turned out that it was. Oh, let me... Of course, I had to switch the names around for the name tag there. Anyway, and then the schools was wrong again. Alright.
That's right.
Regardless of all of that stuff, a little bit of production humor, guys, for other Twitch streamers out there. You know what I mean? Oh well. In the top right, we have a teamless Terran player. He's in the blue. He is TYTY.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have our red Protoss player with a nice hold last game. Can he close out this series? It is Trap.
Alright, I guess he can. So what happened there? TY went for a proxy Rex. He went for the double gas here as well. He really tried to do an all-in here. That was anticlimactic. It got scouted and he's just like... Wow, I think that's the first time somebody GG'd out of a game while we're still doing the introductions. That is...
Yeah, that was... Yeah, that's the first for me.
Oof, man, TY doesn't want to spend too much time today. It seems like, well, alright, no follow-up, anything, whatever. TY goes into the loser bracket. Trap, alright.
I feel like we're getting a little bit of a deja vu with like Nani won back in the day.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Alright, yeah, we gotta go to the NA server now, by the way, for Elaser versus Estrella. So off we go onto adventure. But yeah, that was weird. Honestly, I have to say, we did see the same very aggressive timing attacks from TY once again. But maybe it was just because he was playing mostly against what you might call Trap, right? He knows Trap is insanely good at PvT. When things went a little bit better already in the first setup, maybe as well, didn't go out his way either. So maybe with like you know, it's a lot of speculation, but you know, I'm trying to get into the mindset of TY here. After getting scouted there, perhaps he was like, alright, this is just never gonna work anymore again, especially against someone like Trap. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I mean, you gotta wonder if TY is a little ticked off right now, or if he can go into the losers versus losers match with a fresh mindset.
You know what, Elaser and Estrella now duking it out, trying to see which one of them is gonna be going to the loser bracket. Maybe he is just like, either one of those I'll be able to take on, no problem. Let me just beat up those other guys instead of Trap. Save my energy. Alright, what are people talking about in the chat here? He likes to play proxy all-ins with boys. Yeah, he really does. Especially in online cups, I feel like. He prefers that strategy a lot more. Trying to save time, maybe, perhaps. That could be the case. I don't know exactly, but that is what I've been seeing from TY a lot in these online cups. Sometimes in best of 9 series as well, we get him. That's when he kind of relaxes in a way. He doesn't. He does throw in some macro now and again as well. I would kind of expect as well then in the same idea, when there's already money really on the line, he is gonna give it a bit more of his all, right? He's gonna try a bit harder. Hey. CynicalDeath inviting me as a friend. Look at that.
Yeah, same here.
The man of the hour.
You know you made it when you get the friend invite by CynicalDeath, right?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Now I can see whenever I'm on the American servers. I'm always confused by the overall friend list system actually from StarCraft. You know, it's like you have different friend lists on each server. But then you also have the BattleNet friends, which also don't go server to cross server. Am I right? Am I wrong on that? I don't think they do they?
Yeah, I'm not sure actually.
It's weird. It's just weird. But then if you're playing on the NA server, for example, right? You're an EU player and you're playing on the NA server, and somebody messaged you through the launcher. That's on your EU friend list. Does it still appear on your NA while you're playing on the NA server?
I would assume it does, because I mean it's
Yeah,
still, yeah, I think it's still like the same Blizzard
it
to
should do,
Blizzard
right?
account.
It
I think
should
if
do.
you add it in game, it's different. But if you add it through the Blizzard thing,
Hmm.
then yeah, I think it should be able to.
Right, yeah, guys. Exodus is already on it. There is a replay pack available. Sorry, almost had to sneeze there. It didn't go through anyway. But yeah, there's $10 in replay pack available, so you will be able to get all of the replays. If you want to see exactly what TY was looking at with that second game specifically, perhaps, just to be like, all right, what really went through his mind? Maybe you'll be able to get some insights in there if you're really a TY fanatic. Or even that first game, of course. That was a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. I would like to try out the double marine with the stim pack, double medevac drop, right off the bat. I feel like that does have a lot of potential. It's a nice mix-up from the regular old Widowmine drop that we tend to see a lot as well. But yeah, you might be able to get a little bit of variation of that build as well on your own. Just being like, alright, what if I mix in like a Marauder as well? What if I do this? What if I do a little bit more of that? But and then the follow-ups as well. You can always vary with the follow-ups you do with stuff like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the double medevac marine has kind of gone a little bit out of style. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
nice. I mean, if you can mix it in once in a
Yeah.
while, it's pretty good. I feel like the TVP meta has kind of veered towards Widowmine drops or Banshee openings or maybe even Raven as well. So I mean, if you can, anytime you can get a game, a win with that build, I think it's a plus. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for TY there.
True, true. Right, Estrella and Eliza talking about what time it is for them. He woke up 3 hours ago. Alright, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. He's been awake for a while. He's had time to have his morning routine then. Maybe been able to get 1 or 2 games already in, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly rested and ready to go. It seems. Uh, I was straight asking how is his table tennis skills.
Interesting. These guys must have done a lot of table tennis at tournaments and stuff. Must be Home Story Cup, right? Probably.
Oh, yeah, right, right.
Has
They have a
Estrella
lot
been
of
to Home
activities
Story
there.
Cup, or
Huh?
has Estrella been to Home Story Cup, or?
I don't think so. Actually,
Hmm.
I don't
Right.
remember at least.
Right. Alright, we are gonna get things started pretty soon. We have a lot of people in the party. Wait, I'm the leader. Oh, wait, what? Um,
I believe we're supposed to go on the or set it to U.S. Central, right?
Let me think this through, actually. It doesn't really work when you're in a party, right? So I'll probably be best if I leave the party.
I think the initial maker, wherever that he or she sets that server to, I think that's what we're gonna be in. But
I've
I
always heard
mean,
that it's not reliable, though. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Right, we'll try. We'll try. Nightshade first and foremost. Who's the best player in a Korean team house now is what Laser asks as well. And Astrea's like, either Sasha or no regret. That's what he said. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Did you see,
yeah, I
by the
mean,
way, there was this cool picture of Special. It was his birthday recently. I don't know if it was like yesterday or anyway, sometime nearby. I saw it on Twitter pass by, and you had like Sasha. I think Estrella was there as well. No Regrets. Tasteless was there. And a couple of other people I wasn't quite sure about, but yeah, it looked really cool, honestly. Just being part of that pro house in Korea.
I would imagine it's a pretty fun fun atmosphere. I mean, you know, just party with your friends.
Well, I'll try again.
I would imagine it's kind of like the college life where, I mean, you don't have your parents looking over you. You're just chilling, playing games.
Man. Might just make CynicalDeath the party leader. He's probably more capable than us at everything. Everything. That's why we're hosting a tournament in his honor. I'm sorry. What did you say about the pro house? I was still kind of just figuring this stuff out.
Oh, just saying like the pro house atmosphere. I would imagine that it will be like kind of like the college life where, you know, you're kind of on your own without any parent supervision, and you just like chilling and partying and playing games, having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, looks like CynicalDeath has finally become the party leader.
I've given up.
All right, so we're supposed to leave party here.
I think so, yeah. I think somebody is already making the lobby. Alright, so we have a lot of other people, a lot of other casters, admins, and people like that. All great stuff, but there we go. Stress on it. In we go. In we go. Alright.
10 years of StarCraft, you would think we would have it down by now, right?
Yeah, I'm just always distracted. When I'm trying to cast and do this stuff at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know what to focus on.
Yeah, things like these need like an admin to make sure everything is running smoothly.
Oh well. And then leaving it. Yeah, that's right, Cynical. You know what, we thought about giving you all the responsibility, and then we realized, you know, it is your day after all, so maybe not the best idea. we'll just calm it down a little bit. I think it's fine. I think it's fine this way. We'll have Mr. Estrella taking care of the ship, the captain of Alpha X. I think is he the team captain of like the team overall, like of the players? Would that make sense? Is that maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Who else would it be, right?
I know Matisse is the Dragons coach, and
true.
I think I feel like Starkiller was given that title or of leader of our team leader or dragon leader.
All right.
Might be mistaken. Who knows?
Actually, another interesting thing. Actually, Matisse is also the coach of Elaser.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's the coach of both these players. It's kind of interesting.
Wow.
Since they'll be teaching, or they've been taught by the same guy. I'm wondering if that's gonna influence this match at all. At least that's what Matisse always says, right? That he always talks with Elaser about a lot of big matches that they're having and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're finally getting this started, guys. What have you missed? Not that much, Mr. Balloon Rogue. It is fine. It is fine. We're still getting started here. With this, well, you missed the first series, but was that a whole lot to miss, Snoopy?
Well, game 2 was the fastest game.
Yeah.
The fastest win that I've seen. So, I mean, I don't think you have missed much.
Nope. Not really. It was a bit of a bop in the first game, and then the second game was a bit, well, it was a bit like, alright, well, if you're not gonna try, then that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, let me get rid of Trap's name here. We don't need that one anymore. Alright. Anyone you want to introduce specifically here?
Yeah, sure. Here at the top left corner of the map, we have our lovely red Protoss player representing Team Alpha X. It is Australia.
In the bottom right side, the blue Zerg from Poland. He's none other than Arguz a Laser. I kind of debated on how I'm supposed to say that. I'm not quite certain, honestly. Ago.
Yeah,
Ago could be the
Ago,
case as well.
a go.
Ag- Like
Yeah, I
Agu
mean,
kind of sounds like a baby noise, doesn't it? In a way. And I thought like, well,
yeah, kind of.
probably not the right way to say it, but
It's probably up to preference. I mean, I think same with Austria's name. You could say Astrea or Austria, whichever you like.
I think yeah, Australia is like it's also US or UK pronunciation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the or R.
Eh.
Ah, like dancing and dancing. Australia, Estrella. Stuff like that. Alright, anyway, we saw a hatchery block here for Australia. Always nice to see. A little bit of a small edge that gives these Protoss players. Of course, if Elaser is gonna move his drones along this side, it's gonna mean there's a lot more distance between these two bases, of course. Might give Australia a little bit more of an opportunity to really get those adepts moving back and forth between those bases, and make it a lot harder for Elaser to really defend everything perfectly.
Yeah, especially with this map where the main base and the third base is just further than compared to other maps.
True. Yeah, for sure. It's a really long distance, isn't it?
Yeah. And we all know long distance relationships don't work.
They do not. Even with the hive minds controlling it all. Just doesn't. Well, it's less successful anyway. Also, I wanna give a small throwback to the previous tournament as well. That is also still going. Oh, that's a dead probe actually. That's a kind of a big deal. Anyway, a small throwback. We saw Australia versus Solar also on this map. And this is the one map that Australia did manage to take off of Solar, if I'm not mistaken. It started off with a couple of adepts, like 1 or 2, being able to get a good amount of drones. I think like 4 or 5 drones in total. And I'm kind of interested in seeing if that's going to be the case here again. Look at that. He's really getting right on top of those drones as he's targeting them, so they can't transform into spore crawlers, right? So, yeah. Just like that, already 2 of those drones. He comes in, sneaks in from this left side most of the time, and then just kind of tries to get right on top of those bad boys. Take him out. Take him out like a small infiltration mission.
Yeah, and didn't even have to lose his life for it.
Exactly, yeah. It's still here. Still there. 2 kills. Not too bad. And you can actually see it's a 2... Well, 3... Yeah, exactly 2 work difference right now. That's pretty nice. Losing that 1 probe, you know, it's still a little bit of a... a bummer that had to happen as well. But, well. Saving up for 2 oracles here.
Yeah, just a little tad bit of a supply block there, but does delay the oracle just by a bit. But I think with the... Let's see, there's no spore calls on the way. Laser has yet to scout this, so this might actually catch him off guard, and he will probably get some additional drone kills if he doesn't position his queens correctly.
Yeah, I think right now what he's doing is prepping for an adept attack, right? He's seeing these 4 adepts at the front door. He's getting at the 4-minute mark, his Roach Warren. So that would be the normal preparation for this adept pressure. Now, he did see with this Ling right now coming in the 2 oracles here on the bottom left side. So he is moving his queens into position and he's getting himself spore crawlers. I think he's just barely going to be able to inch this defense out correctly. It's gonna come down to the control of these oracles, but there's 2 queens in the main base as well. Snoopy, yeah, this is not a good day for these oracles right here.
Yeah, really well defended so far by a laser. Does lose a few drones, but it's kind of like Banshees. Like even if you have the anti-defense all set up, you still somehow just lose workers to it. Just a few here and there.
It's only 2 as well. I think that's very acceptable actually. Australia's still making more oracles. He's going up to 4 oracles here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you usually see protests go for like maybe 2 or 3 max, but 4, it's pushing it.
Really is. Curious to see if he's going to make that work. Lay attack now on the way as well for Elaser. We're seeing 3 extra gases being taken. Not a 4th yet, so not going up to 6 gas here. It could be for Aspire. This amount of gas, we'll have to wait and see. Twilight and the Forge coming down for Australia as well now. So he is just planning to take this into a longer macro game, it looks like.
Yeah, and I think.
I love Australia's macro game for Zerg.
Oh yeah. He has really good control there, and actually, we do see a little bit of a sneaky Oracle at the top. So look like he might be thinking of throwing down the stasis ward here. Let's see if a laser can react in time. Oh,
He's not doing it. Oh my god. That's massive. That is massive. All those drones as well, right? Like just now stacked upon one another. So it's not like you get like one wave and the other wave of drones is still at the hatchery. No, he's actually getting most of the drones here. That's massive. Let's take a look at that income graph right now for a moment. All right, we'll come back to it in a couple of seconds as soon as... Okay, they started again. It's not spiking up that much yet. All right, it's going up. Well, you know, it's still going up, so... That's pretty darn nice, of course. What else are we seeing here? Baneling Nest, a Templar Archives on the way. +1/+1 for each of these plays. And, you know what, we're also seeing Phoenixes being mixed in here for Estrella.
Yeah, maybe he's... Okay, we'll see if it's a single Phoenix or is a multiple Phoenix, but it looks like he's only making a single Phoenix to clear out the Overlord on the edges, so he can maybe possibly do a drop later on or something.
Yeah, could be a good idea, honestly. Like, he really is... why I like his late game, or, well, his macro game versus Zerg, is partly because he's so incredibly good at just continuously harassing on multiple fronts. Where did we see this drop a lord, actually? Oh, it's over here. Alright, so, yeah, so clearing out those overlords would be a really, really good way to kind of get things sorted here. This drop a lord is completely empty, but... Is this a fake? Did he just confuse and think he put Banelings in and he didn't put Banelings in? This is...
Oh, there's Banelings coming into the third base, and just at the last second does do a nice force field. Will save the majority of those probes. So well done, well defended there by Alshea.
That's very interesting, yeah. Maybe it was just like a little bit of a ruse, not putting Banelings in there on purpose, so he might have a bigger chance of getting the Banelings in at the third base. It's interesting.
Oh. And here we go.
Oh, there's the Baneling drop though. He's gonna get intercepted, right?
He's got the cannons, he's got the 2 stalkers. Might get a few probes here and there, but I don't see this getting any damage done. Doesn't even get a single one.
Yeah, especially with only the +1 melee attack, right? It isn't gonna be able to one-shot those probes.
Okay, so I guess getting this Phoenix actually might come in useful against those Baneling drops.
Yeah, we'll be able to scout ahead here and there now and again. Estrella is still trying to poke in and out sometimes with those oracles. If we take a look at the income graph, though, it's not been that successful anymore. It does look like it's kind of in favor now for Mr. Eleza, who is just transitioning into a lot of Hydra Ling Baneling style here. And I like this style, honestly, I really do. It does seem a little bit vulnerable to the storms, and I think it's essential to try and transition out of this style as well, right? It's not really a style that as soon as your opponent has the storm and a little bit later attack, that you can't really stay on this style of units composition. But yeah, he's getting his infestation pit, and looks like he will already be starting to prep for that.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to engagement sometimes, because even if you storm, it takes like 2 storms to kill off the Banelings, and sometimes the kind of the front line Banelings kind of sneaks through and gets some of your sentries or your High Templars, and that favors the Zerg. But if with some nice force field, some nice storm, he should be fine against this.
Yeah. We're seeing the Spire and the Hive Tech now at the same time, so it looks like it will be going into Broodlords. Might try a little bit of an aggression here before, of course, that tech is unlocked. He does have a massive army after all, but you know what, army supply looking pretty similar. A lot of that, though, of course, for Estrella is in those oracles still. Oh, High Templar actually getting a little bit too close to the sun there. Trying to keep these Banelings out of the mineral line. More High Templar gonna get gunned down. And yes, 6 High Templar actually dying off there. That is rather gruesome.
Oh man, look at these stasis wards though, trapping all these Banelings at the 4th and the 3rd.
Yeah, that's really good. Estrella at the same time trying to do multi-pronged harassment, coming in the 6 o'clock base, but Laser looks like he is prepared to fight against Estrella. He knows what is up, and he is looking like he prepared very well for this.
Oh, I don't know why he didn't get on top of that Warp Prism. Could have sniped it, but for some reason he moved out. So that Warp Prism luckily stays alive, so he can possibly do a counter drop later on. But looks like Laser is going for another pounce at this 4th base.
Yep, sending Banelings into that 3rd base at the same time. A lot of status traps catching a lot of those though. The Storms, they've not really been hitting home quite yet, and that is largely due to losing 8 High Templar, to be fair. But behind this also we're seeing Estrella going up to carriers. So he as well is transitioning out of this kind of mid to early late game tech.
Yeah, so it looks like he's saving the gas for those carriers and kind of relying on shield batteries and the few High Templars that he has to kind of buy him some time. I do like this decision here by Australia to send some charge lot run bys. You want to kind of get rid of these minerals, heavy kind of units, and start checking to open up the supply for more carriers. But looks like it will get spotted here.
Yeah, let's get caught out. Those Stalks is just barely in the nick of time, jumping in between those pylons and the Nexus, trying to get the Banelings away from the probes, but that's a lot of probes. 1622 in fact actually gonna go down. The Zealots on the right side also being cleaned up. The Storms actually a little bit too late to save that Nexus there. So it's a lot of mining now not gonna be able to get done here by Estrella. And you know what, LA's is still sitting comfortably on the 5 base economy. 5 base versus 3.
Yeah, I think Australian really needs to throw down some stasis wards at the 4th base here. He's got a lot of energy, still got his 4 Oracles still up and running. But you know what Australia does have running for him is those carriers, because if he can gather enough, there's no spy. Oh wait, actually there is a spire. Is there any corruptors actually out for a laser here?
Yeah, he made some. There's only 3 though.
Okay.
A couple. Okay, the carrier attack transition has been spotted now. And I think we're seeing from a laser, he's added in the pathogen cleanse. I'm not sure if that's a response to the carriers. Maybe he spotted them a little bit earlier, but maybe he already tried to get that first and foremost anyway.
I think Australia just had his eye off his army for a second. Does get all the Banelings get all the High Templars, and all that's left are these few carriers, a few stalkers on the ground, as well as 3 Immortals. He should be fine here, but that's a lot of gas units going down for the Protoss.
Really is. And these, look at their queens, how close they are to this side of the map, actually. That is a bit too eager to spread that creep. Although, you know what, it is right on the front door here, so it's about as far as you can get it, honestly. You can expect to get it anyway. Now, yeah, to be fair, Lace is playing this very nicely, right? As I kind of mentioned before, Estrella's late game is really based, first Zerg, to kind of just continuously multi-prong harassment, send Zealots across, get them in the mineral line, and when we look at a laser right now, he's just completely prepared. He's got 4 spines over here, he's got 3 spines over here, even got the Spore Crawler behind that, because, you know what, a laser probably is aware that Estrella likes to mix in those Dark Templar as well. At a later point, not just stick on the Zealots. Now these carriers, to be fair, they do still strike me as a little bit potential for a laser to lose this game, right? Still a very strong, potent force, especially with the High Templar and the Archons underneath. You might not just have enough for just solely Corruptors to take this on. And you will need yourself either the Infestors or the Vipers here to kind of help out, right? Neural Parasite, a big deal. If you can get that to work. He's making a lot of Spore Crawlers, so he is prepping for this rather nicely.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Creep, the Spore Crawlers, even got the Overlords on the outskirts of the map, so he can spot any counter harassed by those charge lot. So Laser looking to be in quite a commanding position.
Yeah. And even with... Oh, what's these 2 High Templar doing here? I think I would try to help out the Zealots Perhaps at the bottom left side we do have a big engagement as well. Those carriers, one of them getting neuraled here. Immediately targeted down. Another one getting neuraled. Those... Alright, nice feedback actually on one of the infestors, so... We have now the Corruptors going a bit too far forward, perhaps. He does still have that Observer there. Anyway, what happened to those other two High Templar in the bottom, the top right? I think they also got killed off. Looks like 14 High Templar in total right now. That's
yeah,
right.
I mean,
Better get an ambulance for those.
More importantly, though, the carrier counts are kind of getting decreased one by one, and I mean, once you're at a kind of an optimal amount of carriers, I think the Protoss feels a lot more comfortable. But with only 4 carriers, or I guess 5 carriers now, that's not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I agree. You do kind of want to have that other unit mix as well, though, right? The High Templar, the Archons, even a couple of Void Rays. I don't mind those actually.
Oh yeah,
Kind of like them being mixed in against. Of course, they do a lot of damage against Corruptors, so I might be able to target those down a little bit easier now. And yeah, I think the main thing here is, of course, the spellcasters for a laser. How well is he going to be controlling those? How well can he really pick off the carriers? Maybe neural some of them, abduct some of them, right? I think that's gonna be the biggest of deals.
Probably move them towards the spore color. So you kind of do that slow push where you kind of move the spore colors inch by inch, and then once that gets set up, it's kind of really hard for the Protoss to break through.
True. And then yeah, so really, what can Estrella do right now? In a way, I think what he will be seeing from him mostly is just trying to deny Elase's bases here, right? The bases he has right now are pretty comfortably defendable from this mid location. He made a big wall of Spore Crawlers from those from this 5-base setup. Any other base, though, is going to be quite a bit further away, right? He will need, like, for example, a lot of Hydras there right now to protect it, which is what he's getting, so...
Yeah, I would love to see Australia actually throw down a Dark Shrine. I think in situations like these, especially with the kind of the vision that a laser already has with those Overlord spread, I think Dark Templars would be a really nice mix to kind of harass the other bases while you kind of build up your main force.
Yeah, for sure. It could definitely do quite a bit here. It does have me a bit worried though. Like, I'm looking at Elase's army movements overall and what he's sending to protect these bases, and I feel like there's always a overseer with those forces. Like, he's doing very well, just continuously being prepped for most of the things that could be thrown his way. Oh, actually just storming the changelings there. Doesn't want to waste too much time. More banelings coming in as well on this third base for Australia. Not too much here to defend it. Needs to warp in between the Nexus and the Pylon. Doesn't get it in time. Oh, lifts up with the probes into the War Prison. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, luckily for him, the War Prison just popped out right there.
Yeah.
He was able to save at least some of the pros. But 9 going down, and currently it's not too shabby. I mean, it's 59 workers to 63. And Australia does have actually, as I look at it, Australia does have a really nice bank.
Yeah, he does actually, doesn't he? Elasa kind of just slightly behind him on the gas count. His mineral count a little bit lacking here. I think that might be because he has been kind of stuck on that lower amount of bases right now. Ooh, those banelings actually still getting really good connections with the Zealots there. Bit unfortunate, but yeah, if we look at the resources lost tab, 4k extra minerals lost here for Elasa. About 2k extra gas, which is of course a lot less, but... still quite something. As long as Estrella can kind of keep up with the amount of bases that he has versus the amount of bases that his opponent has, and keeps trading like this, he might be able to just eke it out here in the end. This is basically the opposite of what we saw in the previous series, isn't it? Oh my god, that's a lot of probes dying as well again, though.
Oh man, those poor probes. And Laser, I feel like it's like slowly but surely kind of killing Australia here. It's like a slow death push. But we'll see. I mean, Australia does still have a lot of carriers. And he's mixing 5 more on the production tab.
Yeah, just increasing that carrier count right now. I'm appreciating how slowly he's getting those. Sometimes you do see, you know, people trying to get them a little bit too quickly, all in at the same time, and that is going to be a problem, of course, because a lot of that army supply that you have will be inside of your Stargates. And even now, 5 at the same time, that's a lot, especially if you're just moving out like this on the map. He is getting this base, though, but the fungals are coming in. He needs to be careful. Okay, some nice feedbacks. Does manage to get the heck out of there, it looks like. Those Infestus are just on the edge. Yeah, we'll be able to catch himself 2, 3, 4 carriers right now. Committing to the fight is Astray, actually. That might be a mistake. I'm not sure if he has the stuff that he needs. He just wants to get rid of those Infestus and then get the heck out of there. Right, those High Templar. Another one gets sniped. The other one as well, actually. So a lot of energy, more probes dying as well on this left side base. Banelings rolling on through there. Now Hydras as well in to mop up the rest of it. Estrella uses the overcharge with the Void Race, but yeah, Laser wisely backs off as soon as that happens. It looks like he'll just recommit as soon as that is ending here. That might be it actually for Estrella. He doesn't really have a bank anymore. 5 carriers are in the production, but I don't know, that may be one of those moments where they're going to be looking back on. If this game does continue, then actually he's killing a lot from a laser now as well, isn't it? Oh my dear lord, those 5 carriers arriving here. Oh my, well then, never mind. I thought there were just more Corruptors there.
Yeah, I mean, the Protoss did have +3 air weapons. I think that actually really helped him out against the +2 of air of the Zerg. So, I mean, with the many carriers, I don't think he could have mustered it up enough Corruptors to clean up, and yeah, he's just GGing out. He knows that it will be pretty difficult. The unfortunate part is that he was able to dwindle the worker count of Australia to 20 compared to the 65 drones that he had. But in this game, if you have a really strong army at the end, I think you're okay to lose that many probes.
I kind of look back on the graphs there, and honestly, maybe it was just because he lost that base. I think that may have been a bigger deal than I initially thought it was. I didn't keep a lot of tabs on the amount of minerals still left at the other bases. I'm assuming they must have been running dry pretty heavily, but the resource collection rate was still in favor for Relaser quite heavily. He had a bigger drone count, and the army supply wasn't that far apart. There was just a small little edge towards Australia. Now, the army for the Protoss do tend to trade a little bit more favorably, as they do, of course. Zerg more so the Wave Assault units, right? But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think a laser really had to tap out there. Maybe he felt differently. Maybe he thought, you know what, I just gotta beat him here right now. And if I don't, I'm just gonna go into the next game. I don't know, but I think it was a little bit too soon.
Yeah, it probably could have. I mean, he probably could have tried at least. Try to see if he had a chance, because he did have a lot of bases still.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he had a significant bank at the end. But the thing is that, with carriers, I think the supply can be a little bit tricky, because each carrier has a bunch of interceptors, and with the upgrade, the +1 upgrade advantage that he had over a laser, it probably would have been all those interceptors, get that same +1 upgrade advantage. So, I mean, it would have been close, but I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we won't, unfortunately. That's a good replay actually that I might be looking back into at some point. I think another big one of those things in that series, or that match, was a laser never rebuilt that base, right? Estrella sniped it, and he moved away he was moving away further and further for a while there, but a laser never rebuilt it. And I think it would have already been kind of rebuilt. He would have kind of started mining again there, right? Maybe even the drones would have still burrowed. I'm not completely sure. Even long distance mining that would have been preferable. But yeah, then he might be able to kind of remake those Corruptors. Get that count back up there again.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I did see that he did rebuild a base, or made a hatchery down in the bottom. So I think he was kind of moving towards the bottom. But I don't think he felt like he had enough resources to make enough Corruptors to kind of kill the rest of the carriers that were gonna kill some more additional bases if Australia decided to move out.
Yeah. Yeah, it could very well be, of course. He also committed a lot of forces on that 9 o'clock base for Estrella. A lot of Hydras, a lot of Banelings. He killed a couple of probes there now and again, but he never actually killed the base. So maybe that was another one of these little notches in his mind, like, alright, I need to do this, this, and this, and then I'll be able to win. And that might have been one of those things where he's like, alright, that didn't go my favor, this fight didn't go my favor, I lost my base, alright, and then, he, you know, I can kind of see how you would then be like, alright, I just gotta tap out of this game. I don't want this to keep going for a lot longer. Just to kind of come back to that moment and be like, alright, this is why I lost. Well, when I already kind of realized this is when I lost, you know?
Yeah. Oh, the chat is saying the score is gotta be
Oh, yeah,
switched.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Blamo. Thank you.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, Glag. Glaggy. Or Glag1. I don't know which one you prefer. Alright, anyway. We haven't done the introductions. Let's do them quick and brief. Top, bottom right, Red Proles, Alpha X, American, he is Estrella.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have our blue Zerg player looking to tie up the series. Can he do it? It is a laser.
Alright, there we go. There we go. So yeah, looks like a quick third base here for Mr. Laser.
Oh wow, that's quite quick.
We'll be setting up shop there rather nice and early, and a quick base for a third. Actually, look at the third base timing for Estrella. That's probably even more impressive here. Also on the bottom side of the ramp there, you know, after mining out those minerals, he really got on that very quickly here. And that might not be scouted for a while, because how are you... Okay, well, actually a laser is mining out the middle here. That's pretty cool to see as well. So he will be able to kind of set up shop there. He's making a lot of links. Is he aware that the bottom side of the minerals here got mined out? He didn't send anything over, so I would be surprised if he did, but it kind of looks like he does. As he's now sending links through this gap, I would assume. Yeah. I don't know how he figured it out, but he did. And here he is. Now Estrella needs to be attention, of course. Wants to get that force field in that wall. Sentries as well. Can't let these links just roll on through here.
Oh, I don't think he should have wasted the energy on that hallucination.
Might need to scout those as well.
He should have enough, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But man, if he didn't have any force field energy for the sentries, that could have been scary.
It could have definitely been. But also, like, I think you'd agree, right, that he needs to get this scout off as well. He needs to see what the follow-up is. He needs to see if he's droning, if there's roaches on the way, what is coming. He needs to know if he needs to throw down, like, 6 shield batteries, right, as well. Because you don't have that much time for that if there's, like, a gazillion roaches being built behind this.
I'm seeing that the laser did commit a lot of resources into those links, as well as even sending drones to mine off the middle.
Yep.
I would say Australia has a nice slight edge here.
It's around the same amount of workers, same bases that are being mined off. So yeah, we're seeing Australia actually a little bit ahead in the overall income graph here. I would agree. Yeah, Australia looking pretty smooth. Of course, he's playing against the laser, very tough opponents. It's not the end of things just yet. Oh my god. Actually, I might know how a laser realized that there was a bottom base. Or something happening at the bottom. Maybe you thought there was like some attack coming in. But if you look at the natural base, there's a full wall off for Estrella, right?
Ah, right.
So I think he saw that and then he kind of put the pieces together like, alright, most likely you are doing something here in the bottom side of the map then. So I need to get rid of these minerals here in the middle. I like that as well, because he didn't mine out the in his own base. So if there was some sort of an attack coming in, then it wouldn't have hit him as quickly, right? Or at his home base, it would still all come in from the same angle as he would anticipate a normal attack. So I kind of like this from a laser. I think that was just a really big brain move there. Although it didn't really work out, of course, as it was an expansion. Already had the wall up there, but yeah, that's a very nice. Little bit of puzzling there from our Polish Zerg.
Alright, looks like Australia is gonna commit to see these Colossus tech. I'm expecting him to attack as soon as this +1/1 is done. It looks like he's warping in more units. Thermal Lance is almost done, as well as Blink. So I think all these upgrades can time up or sync up nicely for a good solid push.
Yeah, I think so too. How much is it gonna get done as well, do you think?
Probably not a lot, because there's actually no expansion at the bottom area, and he has no ability to go through the mineral line into the main base.
Colossi can't walk over this wall, right? So.
Oh well, I guess he could just walk through the middle since it's already open by a laser.
That's true.
Funny enough.
Probably the best way to do it, yeah. Okay, so that is nice. Laser is getting himself a lot of lings right now. It's only on 6 roaches, 3 ravagers, but 74 lings though. So I think it's gonna come down to force fields. How well can they really keep those lings away from the stalkers, and how much can those colossi really get done before the lings get on top of the army? And oi, that's 24 banelings as well now in production. More ravagers. Spire as well, about to finish up here, so he could add in a couple of corruptors as well. He doesn't really have the minerals though just yet. Did commit to a lot of ground forces right now. Oh, he's actually mixing in Vipers though, so of course that can help out quite a bit as well.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be the counter to those Colossus. You want to abduct those Colossus, snipe them off, and that will vastly decrease the push, the power of this Protoss ball.
Exactly. Yeah, and Estrella, he really never committed here, did he? He's building the Nexus on the opposite side of the wall. That's so cool. I've always kind of thought about this, and I think I've seen it like once or maybe even twice, but it doesn't happen that often. But I love this. You might as well make use of the this part, and I would have loved it even more from the map maker if there was a gas geyser on this side of the wall as well. So you really have the choice of which side you want to try and gain your worth from. Even getting another Nexus here, wow. Australia really going for the expansion heavy here. Wants to get into that late game again, and I don't blame him, seeing how that previous late game went.
Oh, but these Banelings go into the... Oh, wow, nice. That's immediately get spotted by that observer at the middle side.
That's so smart.
If people, if people don't know, the Banelings can actually kind of somewhat hit the probe line at the other side. So, yeah, nice response there by Australia.
Observer, oh, he misses it completely. It's a bit of a whiff there, but you know what? Lucky for Estrella here. He's also sending in a lot of zealots. It looks like Laser not as prepared as he was before on that previous map with his spine crawlers here. Just quite yet. Now those Banelings and Zerglings, they're not too far away, so might still go into the favor for Estrella there. Or well, Laser actually, as he is moving away further.
Oh, nice storm.
Yeah, this is just no way you want to fight as a Laser, right? Oh, those are Dutch though. Do manage to get most of the Colossi. Oh, great War Prism juggles. Gets them back to safety there. Wonderfully done by Estrella. And those Zealots, where are they? Okay, they're still waiting. Overlord does scout it out. But yeah, he just lost most of those links, most of those banelings. And Estrella now, as the little bit, the rest of the army that is still remaining here for Elasis coming in to deal with these zealots. Estrella's coming in through the middle, cleaning up that creep.
Yeah, I mean, look at the plus 2/2 of the Protoss versus the plus 1/1.
Well. He's absolutely everywhere right now.
Yeah, he is harassing through the natural, through the middle.
This might just be it, Snoopy. This just might be it, dude. 9 workers going down. They're still at this the 5th base as well.
Oh man.
Laser's falling apart. In the main base now a War Prism appears too. More zealots on the top side. This is nuts. This is Laser needs to stabilize as quickly as he can. He's got Broodlords, but Broodlords are incredibly slow. They're famous for being slow, and they're not that great at you know what, because of this, defending multiple bases that are spread out through this enormous long line. Yeah, even this hatchery looks like it will just barely fall. I say barely, it did pretty humongously fall. 2 hatcheries go down. Elase's back on 3 bases.
Yeah,
wow.
And you know what? Australia had thrown down his fleet beacon a lot. Earlier, so he's already got avenue for those Tempests if he decides to go for that. but instead it looks like he's going to add in the mothership and continue. I think he's going to continue harassing with the War Prism, because like you said, these Broodlords are really slow. It's really hard for them to kind of defend all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the Broodlord style, probably against any Protoss, Estrella might be the worst one to try and do this to. Because he will abuse the heck out of this. I've mentioned it a couple of times, and I don't think I can mention it enough. Estrella loves his multi-pronged harassments. It's his bread and butter. It's what he does. It's how he approaches the matchup. Back in the day, right, before we had a couple of patches where, you know what, we always felt like Zerg in the late game may be a little bit unbeatable for a lot of Protoss. At least that's what a lot of Protoss said. For a while there, Estrella was one of those Protoss that kind of had its own style, and it still definitely still made headway, right? Still managed to get a lot of stuff done, and mostly because of his multi-pronged harassment, continuously just trading out favorably and denying any type of mining. Or actually, not mining. Well, not trading too favorably, but just denying the mining and then being allowed to not trade as favorably as you potentially could otherwise.
Yeah, and then even another warp in here at the main base. Corruptors finally takes it down, but it's not soon enough as this layer is or this hive actually GG.
GG. That's it, guys. Estrella wins 2-0. That means we're gonna have ourselves a PvP Estrella versus Trap in the winners match. All right. And you know what else that means, Snoopy? We're gonna have TY versus a laser.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Exactly what you wanted.
Exactly what I wanted. Now, hopefully, of course, Estrella will be able to beat Trap here. And then we'll have TY, hopefully, in my book, you know what? No offense, other Polish people and the laser, but, you know, I'm just a big TY fan, and I'm not afraid to admit it. So I'm hoping TY is going to have a little bit of a resurgence. Even though, you know what, those other two games of his were a little bit underwhelming. Quite underwhelming, perhaps I should say. But then when he gets going and you see the big brain of his getting to work, it's always a sight to behold. That's why I'm always sad when he gets kicked out of tournaments in the earlier parts.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we're going with the winners match first here. Back to Korea, right?
Yeah. Estrella in Korea now as well. So we should be good on Korea. Estrella versus Trap. I'm very interested to see how these two will be matching up against one another. Honestly, I don't think I've ever really seen a lot of PvP from Estrella. Or
I have.
Trap, you have? Well, in the
Yes,
MVP Cups, I suppose sometimes, right, with Estrella versus people like Art.
Yeah, but also the Alpha Pro series.
Mm-hmm. The Alpha Pro series. Yeah, there's been a PvP in the Alpha Pro series.
Yeah, I remember back in the day. I was casting a Australia versus Parting Alpha Pro series, and the funny thing is that Australia was, Parting was kind of like a teacher or mentor to Australia, so you could expect Australia to have one of those Parting crazy kind of PvP kind of games. I think the kind of the play style is pretty similar to Parting's.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So a little bit wild and reckless then, perhaps.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking forward to that. That seems like a lot of fun.
Definitely.
But yeah, PvP is sometimes it does get a little bit crazy. It gets a little bit nuts, and it doesn't always provide the best games, perhaps, as it is very dependent on what build order people are using. I'm no Protoss myself, so I wouldn't know for sure what's better against what. I kind of have a small idea, but yeah. I don't know about you, but I don't get to cast a lot of PvP, mostly because people don't really make show matches that much anymore, right, for the PvP matchup.
Yeah, I think a lot of show matches likes to kind of mix up the races, so it doesn't. I mean, it kind of caters to more
people.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. Friendly reminder, we do have a Matcherino page as well. hit us up with an exclamation mark Matcherino, and I will take you guys through it actually as well rather quickly here. Take a look. That's the bracket. And this is the Matcherino. It's going to load up here eventually, I would assume. There we go. Lovely, lovely. And yeah, you can help us out here rather easily. Quite easily, actually. All you got to do is sign in. I like to use my Twitch. So I'm already signed in with my Twitch, and it kind of promotes my own Twitch as well, right? Really goes in. There we go. Then all we do is press contribute. You put in the code. I think it is AX CynicalDeath, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yep.
And voila, contribute. Done. 50 cents added to the prize pool here. That's all you got to do. And you know what? These pro players will have a little bit of extra money in their pocket that way. There's also some quests you might be able to get done. Right, follow some people on Twitter, stuff like that, retweet something, easy peasy, money for more StarCraft bros. Even some Red Bull, apparently some other tournaments, Magic the Gathering tournament actually, that's going on. So if you're into that type of thing, you might as well just kind of retweet it, get in the know about it at the same time as giving more money to esports. Yeah. Other than that, we have a replay pack, of course, available here as well. $10, and you will, well, add it into the prize pool as well entirely. You're gonna get the replay pack of all the great StarCrafts. What StarCrafts? Well, right here. You can kind of see a quick glimpse. I'm not gonna go over all of them, but yeah, it's quite a bit. Group Stage 1, Group Stage 2, and the playoffs all will be within this replay pack, ultimately. And every time we've done one day, you're gonna be sent all those replays. Other than that, there is some nice merchandise and a caster tip jar. If you feel like we're doing a good job here, then that is the place to appreciate us, alright? The Bucker Show, that's all we ask. Sun Lily actually donating $20. That's pretty darn good. Thank you, Sun Lily. That's very nice. For a very big tournament, we always appreciate it being even bigger. I'm getting that appreciation from the inside of Alpha X as well. That's always twice as nice. Twice as nice. I'm blind. Yeah. Did that say $10? Yes, it did actually say $10. Demonum. But yeah, normally we ask for about $2 to $3. No, 3. Well, maybe $4 if it's like a really big series. And that's usually for like best of 9s and things like that. So already, for one day of one of these groups, you're gonna get yourself 5 best of 3s, which is a potential of 15 games. Now, obviously, you're not gonna get 15 games, but that is, you know what? At a minimum, that is 10 games, right? 10 replays at a minimum. Then you can do that times 6, right? So 10 times 6 is 60. Then, at a minimum, we're still at a minimum. Then we have 2 best of 5s. No, wait, we have 2 more group stages, which is another 20. So that would make 80 replays. And then we have 2 best of 5s and the best of 7, which is a minimum of 6 plus 5. So that would be another 11 on top of that, right? So that's, what, 91 replays? 91 replays. So overall, you're going to be cheaper out by buying the $10 instead of the overall $3 for like a best of 9 series, which could potentially be 5 replays, right? So I don't know how that really maths out on its own in terms of value for your money, but this is a lot of money for your value overall. And you're supporting esports at the same time. So what are you even waiting for?
Indeed.
Alright, looks like we got one person again a little bit stuck in the loading screen. I don't know what is happening, but it's one person that is not able to connect. Also, I saw Bel Air was having difficulties getting on top of the... Getting on the Korean service here. I'm not sure if he's here. Is he? Is he Ward PS?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay. I see.
What? Yeah, we might have to wait for him.
There he is. Ah, nice. He's here.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's here.
Like, no party? Alright, anyway, guys, coming up, series number 3 already. We have the winners match. Whoever wins this one will be moving onwards to the second group stage. Any predictions, Snoopy?
I predict it will definitely last longer than the first series between Trap and and TY.
I think so too. It's not a hard one though to make. To be fair, if it was shorter, then somebody's been doing double worker rush. Um, so yeah. Anything else to predict here? You know who's gonna win? Thinking about a score here, perhaps.
Oh, well, I think from based on the last game, we might actually see Australia go for the same kind of wall off.
Mm.
Because not only does it kind of, I mean, this base, this map has a backdoor third base, but it does actually counter the kind of the depth opening if Trap decides to go for that. So not only do you deny the depth from shading in, but you can actually have access to that third base. Makes it a really safe kind of opening build. So we might possibly see the same opening, or at least a similar one.
All right. I'm seeing that we're having a 3-minute break. I'm gonna quickly run to the toilet just so I don't have to later on. So I'll be right back then. You keep people busy, okay?
All right.
Talk to them.
All right, guys. Since we're waiting for this 3 minute, okay, actually, let me see. Why is there's a 3 minute break here? Wait, 3 minute break. Quick toilet. Oh, didn't give a reason. But anyhow, you guys want to see me sing? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna torture you guys. But but yeah, this first game will be on Golden Wall. So we'll see if we get some nice standard game or a crazy game. I think of course, this map is a little bit unique, so I'm expecting a bit of a quirky game, as this is one of the maps that actually has a gold mineral base, as well as a kind of a interesting layout. Now I'm interested to see if in the next season. Okay, suddenly wants a Snoopy song. I rather not torture your ears. And plus, I'm just a cartoon dog. I just cartoon dogs don't sing. Uh, we bark, we may growl, but we dogs we don't sing, or we can't sing.
Think
All we can do is woo, woo.
I'm
But
sure if you Google singing dog, that I'm sure something's gonna come up though.
yeah.
Certain anything here could happen. There are dogs that can say "I love you." I'm pretty certain of that. I don't think they know what they're saying necessarily, right? But
Uh-huh.
they do kind of make that sound of like just like that. Anyway, which is
Uh,
pretty cool. Pretty cool.
when when the chat says all dogs go to heaven, and yeah, I definitely agree.
It's a very nice thought. Um, okay, we're starting.
Awesome.
Awesome. A best of 3 between two badass Protoss players. And I think Protoss versus Protoss, a lot can happen, of course, because of build orders in a way. And Estrella definitely good enough that if he does have the build order advantage, he should be able to push his luck through here and get himself the victory, right? Even against somebody top-notch as Trap, I believe Estrella should have what it takes to really take somebody like him on. We just saw him beat a laser here in a 2-0 fashion. And Alaser's really been on top of his game recently as well, right? We have been seeing him getting very deep in tournaments on the EU scene against all sorts of great names and players. And, you know, that kind of proves Estrella, I don't know, I think Korea's been doing him well. It's been doing him pretty darn well.
I agree. And you know what? I think just taking a look at as the game is loading, I'm just like taking a look at the glance at the map, and I realized that this map is actually a really good proxy map where you can just like proxy Stargate or maybe even proxy Robo. So I'm interested to see if any of these players decides to go for a type of proxy cheese build order.
Yeah. It could be. Yeah. For a moment I thought you were going to say this is a really good Ro16. I don't know what the word is. Ro16, I think. Stain. You know? You know those?
I have no idea.
It's the ones you use for the therapy sessions, right? Where they show you a stain and then you're like, all right, that's a dolphin. That is eating peanuts at a basketball game or something like that, you know?
Oh, you mean like they kind of show a kind of a
Ink
kind of a
blob.
construct picture?
Yeah, it's Rohrschach, I think it's a German guy. I don't know the exact pronunciation anymore, but I think that's the guy. It kind of looks like it, right? In a way.
Yeah.
Rohrschach. Yeah, there we go. Killer knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, that out of the way.
Yeah, he sees this. He sees two pros mining. Oh man.
It's a bit suspicious, isn't it? Anyway, in the bottom right side, there is a red Protoss fighting for Jin Air Green Wing. Sees none other than Trap.
And spawning at the bottom left is the blue Protoss player from Alpha X. It is Australia.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so I think Australia was looking to go for a proxy Stargate at the bottom, but unfortunately it did get scattered, and now he's gonna proxy at the top instead.
I'll just do it here. It's fine. It's fine. So as these guys are kind of walking down their initial tech routes, what would you see in this Rorschach test right here of a map?
I see a happy face because
Yeah.
I mean you had the eyebrows, and then you have kind of the kind of the smile with the middle mineral line, and then the little kind of like rock area could be the nose.
Yeah. I agree. To me, it looks a little bit more like a skull, though, for some reason, with like the middle bits being the teeth in a way. You know, three like big teeth.
Oh yeah.
It's like these darker blue edges, and then the yeah, but it's a very happy skull, though. To be fair, so well.
Either way, we all know that it's happy. That's
It's a very happy map, isn't it? even with the wall being you could see that as a moustache as well in a way. I don't know, something like that, or a big frown as well. But then it still looks happy because of the because of those two mineral patches here.
Or the eyes.
Yeah. Weird stuff. Anyway, Estrella, he just kind of proxied that second pylon, it looks like. Not really building anything there. Trap still looking around on the map, though, trying to figure out what is happening here. Look at how much stuff he has on the bottom side. Honestly, just for this, I think it may be worth just having that being mined out here, because Trap, he has been busy here. He's not taking any chances. He mined out his own minerals. And he's still looking around there. With the probe, he had the depths there for a long time. He had two stalkers there. And this kind of gave Estrella the opportunity to get away with a quick nexus here. Which only, well, just about now got scouted by Trap. Although, you know, those depths still a potential threat, of course. Always roaming about. Which server will TY versus Elaser be in? It will be on the American server. Central, US Central. Trying to make it as fair as we can. Here we have a Warp Prism, though. This could still be a lot of trouble. Estrella does have 4 Stalkers and 4 Sentries here, but is that going to be enough against the massive amount of Stalkers right now available for Trap? Great force fields, though. Getting rid of a lot of the potential here, the DPS, but oh my dear lord, he still needs to get rid of the Stalkers here. Oh my god, was that really a Warp Prism with 3 Stalkers in there? Getting gunned down. That's nuts. That's not supposed to happen. GG.
Oh man, even a block.
What? Really?
Australia.
that is not a latency issue, guys. This is being played on the Korean server, and Trap making a mistake like that is humongous, actually. Wow.
Yeah, sick micro snipe on that War Prism. Oh man.
I don't even think those were low HP stalkers either, right? They were pretty full up there.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
nuts. That is absolutely nuts. I thought he was just gonna die there, get run over, but Estrella getting the victory there. Nice, nice. Props to him. Damn. Damn. Alright, well, 1-0 now. Imagine Estrella moving on first in this bracket here, in this group. It's seems likely now, honestly.
That would be nuts, because I
It would
mean,
be.
if you took a look, like the first glance at the bracket in the beginning of the cast, I would say Australia was probably going to be the weakest one out of the group.
Yeah.
But here we have it. He's one game away from advancing.
The underdog story is truly coming to be right now. And I gotta say, I'm loving it. I hope CynicalDeath is enjoying it as well. I'm pretty sure he is, right? He likes us Alpha X's. I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
We're like family now. Of course he is. All right, nice, nice. Okay, there we go. We have the confirmation that he's basically our father. You're in game with these monsters. All right, all right. Yeah, usually CynicalDeath doesn't really get to be in the lobby itself, right? So yeah, he just kind of sits by the sidelines waiting for the results to come in through the through the stream. And yeah, that's nice. All right. Also, we're having a lot of follows today, actually, as well. So, guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna run down that list real quick here. 0516XH, thank you for the follow. Cricklum as well. Ninon's Huck. Prismuk 93. I think those are some Polish people, perhaps. I don't know. Chaosborn Serenity. Will Mouse. Gavelav. Z dash underscore EN. So I think that's an English Z. As well, thank you. Asrain, SC2, just dropping in as well right now. Smith, 10291029. AX3. Meow, Yam. Man, that's a lot of people. Smokeweed, Snake. Let's Do It Alive. Arndt, Amt. Shohoku, Nano. Oh wait, no, actually this was it. This was it. I'm going into yesterday now, so forget about those last two guys. Never mind those. But yeah, all the rest of you, thank you so much. I hope the other guys already got thanked yesterday, so that's why I'm not gonna thank them again, of course. But then again, I already did in a way, so you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so what are we watching? What are you watching? Have you been paying attention to the start of this? Looks pretty normal, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we have at the top right, of course, we have the red Protoss player from generic Green Wings. It is Trap.
Bottom left side, that's the blue Protoss. Yeah, he's been living in Korea and it's been working out for him. It looks like he's been getting in his new training. Been eating his veggies. His Alpha Axis American player Estrella.
I think we gotta update the scoreboard, right?
Well, you know, I'd like to keep things a mystery, but all right, we'll just just do it then, if we must.
Let's not take the point away from Australia. He had an impressive game one win there.
Yeah, but to be fair, I'm not quite sure how bothered Trap is by that one. You know, I don't think he's like, alright, I can't win now anymore. It's like, you know, maybe he's just like, I'll just get him the next 2 games, that's fine. That was just a micro bad. It's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna be more careful now. That's, you know, that's how I kind of would assume that he sees this. Being the pro player that he is. Holy Lime 23 as well, joining in with the follow train, by the way. Thank you. Welcome to the crew.
Welcome to the Alpha Squad.
The Alpha Squad is if you sub. As a distinct difference. Yeah,
right.
Not allowed to be part of the squad. Only the crew.
Some little of a cheeky play there. On a pylon here at the forefront of Austria's base. Now Austria, he's gonna just head straight into across the map with these two stalkers. These two adepts of trap will circumvent onto the side. We'll see if Austria can wall off just in time. It's really difficult sometimes in the PvP to kind of pay attention to the adept shade in and wall off in time. Sometimes you see a lot of players that miss that. But look at there, Austria keeping on top of it.
Yeah, doing a good job right now. We'll be able to pick up one of these adepts at least. The other two shades not quite staying on top of the shade from this red adept though. He manages to get out, but you know what? Still a nice opening here for Australia. Gets the first blood in his name. There is the War Prison though, so he still needs to be careful. Just having a probe at the front door no longer is really gonna keep him safe. Did you see there is a robo opening here? I don't think he did. But you know what? He is keeping everything safe at his main base in the mineral line. So
oh yeah, he's actually going.
There.
Yeah, he's actually going for a Phoenix too. So that's gonna actually deter this little harass here by trap. I don't see this getting too much damage done.
It really shouldn't, should it? Although they still, of course, one shot, but as soon as one of those adepts get picked up, that is just the end of it already. Right now, with the two Phoenixes on top of that War Prism, I think we need to see a recall. I don't know if he has the energy, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough energy. Oh, man. That is huge for Australia. Australia just on fire tonight.
Yeah, that's it was definitely a nice little bit of a lucky opening, perhaps, for him as well. Going for those Phoenixes as the War Prism comes in, that is quite massive. Of course, the Immortal as well does get a little bit countered here by those Phoenixes. Look at that. Look at the forces Australia has right now. This should be more than enough. Without the War Prism here especially, those slow Warpins not going to really matter too much. There's not going to be any juggling being done with the Immortal either. So as long as, you know what, Australia kind of controls his units correctly here, I would say that he should be able to take this one home, right? Has the second Nexus as well. All he's got to do is defend here. And he's going to be in a golden position.
And that, yeah, and that shield battery is about to pop off too. Wow. Oh, just barely almost losing a Phoenix. And here we go. Looks like Australia will snipe off those sentries, lift off the Immortals. These stalkers going to get on top of it and snipe off that Immortal, and that should be it.
It should be, shouldn't it? Yup, GG is called. Australia moves on through with a casual 2-0 versus a laser, and then 2-0ing trap. Why the hell not, right? Because that's what we always knew would happen. Man, it's a crazy time for StarCraft 2 these days, isn't it? A lot of upsets happening in these tournaments recently. First of all, TSL having the weirdest day, and right now here we have Australia being the first one to move on in a bracket with a laser, TY, and trap. All of those. That's pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts. Congratulations to him. We'll be seeing him in the group stage number 2. Very happy that that actually is the case. Very nice to see. Nuts. Nuts. Absolutely nuts, Snoopy.
Yeah, that...
I still can't believe it quite yet.
Yeah, there's some sick plays from Australia, and those training in Korea has definitely paid off.
Yeah, really does seem like he's been getting that practice in, and well, now just casually strolling on through to past two of the stronger considered players right now. NA bigger than EU and Korea. It seems that way right now, Gleg. It does definitely seem that way. Although he still went to Korea, of course, for better practice, so I'm not quite 100% sure, but ultimately working out rather nicely here for all the Americans and the American fans. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Alright, so TY versus a laser still on the menu, and then afterwards whoever wins this series will be having to go up against Trap once again, right? Trap not out of this one just yet, still has a chance, but still needs to beat one of these players, and one of these players, well, still needs to beat the other one, and then Trap of course as well. Still a lot to play for. TY versus a laser. Now, I am a little bit afraid for a laser here. I saw Rogue versus TY, and TY absolutely demolished Rogue. First and foremost, if we're gonna see Zen, I would assume we're gonna see a proxy 2 Rex. Because TY knows how to abuse that map like no one else. It is not seeing him move those Marines around in those little tiny mineral patches. And... yeah, I'm a bit afraid that we're going to see very quick games coming out of TY again. To be fair. I am.
Well, the thing is, we are on the America server, so we'll see if the ping issue, if there's any ping issues that will kind of make this a bit of a weird series. Because sometimes those little mini seconds of micro really kind of change the outcome of a battle. So I mean, I feel like if a laser were to upset TY due to ping issues, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think... well, they both have the ping, right? They should have around the same amount as well here.
Right.
Being on Central America. So I hope that's not going to be the case. Maybe TY... this might be a reason for him to do more of the aggression, even more so. Right? So that could come into play because of that. It might not feel like he wants to do a big macro game. Especially now, already. He kind of was showing that type of behavior. Or showing kind of that mental attitude in these online cups. Especially the early parts. But yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. Maybe he's going to surprise us. Maybe he's going to surprise a laser with this now as well. They're still getting to do the vetoes here. It looks like.
I feel like straight up on paper you would favor TY, but then after you watch kind of the first series where it seemed like TY was maybe, I don't know, you could say maybe he was tilted, and then also being that Laser did wake up like 3 hours, so he should be well rested. I mean, anything can happen. So
yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, well, TY. Actually, he's called YouTube TY here. I'm gonna have to check out. Does he have a YouTube channel? Does TY have a YouTube channel?
I mean, he should, right?
TY. It would make sense. I wouldn't be surprised though if it was a fully Korean channel though, as his English isn't the greatest, is it? Right, so it's not coming up immediately by Googling. And I Google YouTube TY. Okay, wait, hold up. 7 months. The world of TY. Huh. I think it's just something completely different.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, that's probably not TY. Alright, I don't think I see.
Yeah, his YouTube channel is called StarCraft 2 TYTY.
Ah, okay. It's an interesting name in game then, that he's called YouTube TY. YTTY. Anyway, there is the Matcherino, guys, of course. Oh, CynicalDeath placing that YouTube channel as well in the... why not simply check Liquipedia? That's right, because that's, after all, the easiest accessible place for anyone to really get things rolling. And the easiest place to get their information from. That's right, CynicalDeath reminding all of us why we appreciate him so much. Yeah, there you have it. You know what, actually? You know what? Hold up. Oh, wait. I'm gonna have to do something here. Hopefully that I'm gonna be in time. v/alpha xsc2. Please don't start playing things. Thank you. That is unavailable. Alright, so... There we are. Alright, let's see the videos. How are the videos going right now? Am I missing the lobby? I am not. Okay, we're good. There we are.
Yep.
Alright, there is this. What was I wanting to do? Right. To celebrate.
No.
Any predictions for this one?
Sorry. Predictions. Okay, let's see. I mean, TY and Laser, I feel like they're both kind of well, I guess TY is more of a he could be a either a macro kind of oriented style, but he also mixed in a lot of aggressive aggressive builds where maybe he go for a proxy or of some sort. A laser, I feel like he's more of just a solid macro Zerg. I don't see him doing any kind of cheeses. So I feel like throughout the series, I'm expecting a laser to be more on the defensive kind of macro end, while TY might be on the kind of the more aggressive, cheesier side, or aggressive regular kind of with a regular build of some sort.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
my
that
prediction.
makes sense. That makes sense. So do you think Laser's gonna have what it takes to
Yeah, I feel
get
like
back?
yeah, he's one of those foreigners. I mean, he's been around for quite a long time, and I feel like he's had his kind of his moments of beating top tier Korean players. So I would give a laser a chance, but I think in the end, I would still give Ty a little bit of an edge. How about you?
Yeah. I'm worried, man. I just want TY to win, honestly. No offense, but
I'm beat-
yeah. As I said
yeah.
before, I'm a big TY fan, and I love to have him in the tournaments. Um, I always like sometimes he streams with like a translator as well, which is amazing to see because you get to
Oh,
see all the insights of his right on the Freaker TV, and you also get to actually hear his thoughts about what he's doing, and it always feels so clinical, always feels so smart and clean, and very well thought out. He's very well pronounced in the overall StarCraft 2, and you know what? Just that knowledge is dripping from him in his play continuously. And yeah, that's why I kind of want to see him continue onwards. And it's also why I'm a little bit disappointed that we are not getting to see as much macro from TY. But I can understand that he wouldn't really throw all his best strategies into tournaments like these, right? That definitely
hmm
makes sense. All right, there we have the first map being created. Eternal Empire will be taking place first and foremost.
Oh, shout out to you, man, for gifting CynicalDeath a sub. That's a
Thank you.
nice little present there.
Yeah. I mean, if this is a Cynical Death Appreciation Tournament, that's probably something that should happen, right?
Yep.
That's right. So yeah, welcome to the squad, Cynical, the Alpha Squad. I actually changed the bottom right thing to Alpha Subs because I thought maybe that's gonna bring people's attention a little bit more. So realizing that it's about subs, I don't know if it says Alpha Squad. Would you realize that it's the subs, or would you think that's something else?
I mean, alpha subs I think works fine.
Yeah.
I mean, either of them works fine. I feel
You
like.
don't think we could change it to something even better?
Let's see.
Alpha Folk.
Alpha mini dragon. No, no.
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I think it's either alpha subs or alpha squad is the best route.
Yeah. Like the Alpha Squad in a way kind of reminds me of like I already said this once, but like the Star Wars things with like the Starfighter. Well, yeah, the squadrons, right? And then you have Red Squad, Think Squad, and then you have Alpha Squad. Alpha Squad always kind of makes its appearance right in those types of things. I feel like.
Yeah, and it also has a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Alpha squad, like
All
sounds
right.
cool.
All right. I'll switch it back. Alpha Squad. There you go. You're officially part now of the Alpha Squad. Cynical. There you go. Blammo.
Nice.
Do make sure. I think you're already in the Discord anyway, so that should give you more replays as well, right? We throw replays there for subs as well.
Yep.
Anyway,
Get all the Alpha Pro Series replays and all that nice.
some good
nice
stuff. Some pretty darn good stuff. All right. Anyway, I gotta get rid of this little tag here. There's no trap playing anymore. There we go. All right. I'm having a bit of a lag issue here. Okay, we're good. We're good. In the
All right.
bottom left side of the map, we have a red player from Poland. He is Agus Laser.
And spawning at the top right corner of the map. Unfortunately, I cannot do the same little accent there. But anyhow, currently teamless. Hopefully, he finds a team soon. It is TY.
Any other accents that you have acquired?
No. I'm not the guy for accents. I'm not the. I mean, the only. I mean, I don't really do any voiceovers. I mean, you know, in the Charlie Brown cartoons, you know, I don't even say anything much. So, you know.
I see. You're just kind of there for us, the voice actor, and then it's just like, I don't even know. Does it make any noises? Like a
they go like,
oh,
you know,
okay.
random background noise.
Alright. Fair enough. It's hard to introduce a player though with that, probably. Like.
Imagine we cast like this throughout the whole time.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. Except for other dogs out there, that would be like, oh my god, I can finally understand StarCraft now. I see what is happening. They all just want to eat the dog food biscuits that are colored blue.
Exactly.
And of course the green goo. Any dog would like to drink of the green goo ponds. First you gotta put your drinking bowl on top of it though.
That's the way to do it.
Awkward. All right. Anyway, what's we having here for StarCraft 2? It looks like the Reaper is gonna die here relatively quickly. Yeah, it's a goner. That's a goner. All right. So yeah, a bit unfortunate. Would love to see that Reaper stay alive. Of course, it's probably because he didn't see that third base go down just yet. That he's a little bit worried, as we are seeing a laser going for 2 extra queens here before actually adding in that third base. So I think that's why TY actually committed with that Reaper to the scout. Maybe trying, hopefully finding something that's going to indicate what is coming his way. Not really too much though being found out. He sees a lot of the drones. I do think, you know what, he did see, of course, the hatchery wiggling. I'm not sure if he picked up on that. But then he could have seen, alright, you're just making more queens. That's probably why the delay of that third base. But you know what, actually, there's a further delay of the third base. There's a layer attack on the way right here for a laser.
Yeah, there's a quick lair, so we might actually see maybe possibly Nidus Worm play. I mean, I don't think it's a Spire because there's no 4th gas, but we do think that TY will go in with the Hellions. We'll scout the timing of his third base. He should know something is up as it is quite late.
There's no Roach Warren yet either though, or Baneling Nest. Okay, there's the Baneling Nest. He is making no more queens either, so it's just very interesting. He is behind here. I don't know, man. I don't know. It could still be Spire. He does have that 200 gas right now. Okay, it is Spire.
Oh, there we go.
And
So
he did add that 4th gas as well, so it was just a little bit later actually.
Yeah.
Okay, it feels like a little bit of a role reversal of what we were expecting, right? We thought TY would be the aggressor, and Laser would be the guy to just kind of play this straight up macro play here. But Laser, I mean, this is well, not what we were thinking of at the start of this. TY definitely going for the straight up macro play. So maybe his aggression more so has to do with fighting against Protoss rather than fighting online cups and stuff like that.
Possibly. But I think TY will definitely want to make sure to scout this soon because... Oh, actually he does scout it with that Liberator there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he clicked on it just yet. He might assume that it's a Spore Crawler. Although he does put his Liberator right on top of it, so I would not think that he's assuming this. A lot of drones do fall though, 13 so far. Hellions in a natural base as well, managing to get quite a couple of connections here. And yeah, 14 drones dying off here when staying on 2 base for that long. That's quite massive. I guess you don't need the minerals as badly, but yeah, only 6 Mutalisk now on the production tab.
Yeah, I
could
mean,
be
once you get
trouble.
scouted by the Terran, you gotta wonder if it's a smart idea to kind of commit to it. Whether you want just to stick with like 8 mutalisks, or whether you want to just go all in on the mutal tech.
No missile turrets just yet from TY though, so... Okay, there we go. Now adding them in. Just waiting for the utmost latest moment in time to start doing this.
Oh, this SCV does block. Okay, there we go. The turret momentarily getting delayed by its own brothers.
I'm sorry, but do you have your construction rights here to be building a missile turret? Do you have your permits? Didn't quite have it yet. Alright, but does get things sorted with the SCV civil rights, of course. One of those missile turrets, an absolute eyesore for the skyline of a Terran base, but they do. I think they now realize that it's probably the best thing, of course, to have one of those. Yeah, it does manage to get 5 SCVs here. Marines coming on through, shooing away the muties.
Oh, it looks like he's actually committing to it. I mean, he's showing only like a handful of mutalisks, but in the production tab, he's actually making a lot more. Bailing speed is about to be done, so that should arrive for this little push by TY. And the majority of the army is actually Marines, so if he could get some nice connection, that'll be really, really nice for him.
Yeah, for sure. It's good that he gets away with the rest of those mutalisks as well. So as they get rid of this bio ball, of course, as you said, needs to get those good connections. +1/+1 only now starting, but he does have the speed upgraded. He has a lot of queens. I think this should be enough with the queens here. Specifically, has a lot of transfusions. I'd like to see the transfusions. Yeah, look at that. Getting the transfuse on the mud-muds. More than enough to clean this up. Lovely done. Second little wave coming in, but yeah, not really going to be able to commit. He did get there was a 4th base being built here, right? So that did get cancelled, I believe.
Yep, it got sniped.
Yeah, that is nice. Wait, was it full of kill?
I don't remember actually. It was either it was. I mean, he did either snipe it or it got cancelled.
All right, yeah. It was there at one point in time. Anyway, the Marines here kind of struggling now against the heavy mutalisk numbers. Might want to make use of the missile turrets here. Again, runs to safety. There's a bunker up there as well, but you know, only losing 2 SCVs, so I think he stabilizes okay, just barely on the edge of acceptability. But more mutalisk now in that natural base. Once again, abusing this little corner here, sniping away at those SCVs.
Oh, 4 total SCV kills. Nicely done.
2 banelings here at that third of TY. Does he see? Okay, yeah, he's paying attention. Is it in time though? 9, well, 5 extra works there. Gonna go down by those 2, by the hands of those 2 banelings. And yeah, Laser here looking in a very good spot, right? His drone count not all the way up there just yet, although he is getting himself a 5th base right now. I like that. His army supply is looking pretty good, as long as he kind of keeps TY honest on those 3 bases and doesn't allow him to really commit anywhere else. I think he should be okay. A lot of banelings though connecting into the siege tanks here. Oh, but it's still enough. Getting on top of the Marines as well with those banelings, and there it is. GG being called. TY, wow. Getting a little bit toyed with today, it looks like.
Yeah, I feel like TY is not having the best mindset or the best mental attitude today. So
Yeah,
I mean, at least it could definitely take advantage of this, and that means that if TY does lose this next game, that means he's eliminated from
my
the group.
StarCraft crashed. Interesting.
Oh,
So it's an okay time though in between games, but interesting. Yeah, continue onwards. Maybe mention that I'm not there right now in the chat.
well, they have not yet create. Okay, there we go. It does gets created. I'll invite you as soon as you're on.
And you just mention it to Inu, and we should be okay.
Okay, yeah.
Or I don't know who the host is. It might be Pearl. It might be Pearl. Anyway, yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, TY not really bringing his A game today. It definitely looks like. That entire game just kind of felt weird for him, right? He did get the cancel one at full space, but did take a lot of damage from those mud-muds as well on that natural base still. A little bit late with the SCV pool. It might have to do with the ping. You might just not be feeling it today. That could be the case as well. I'm not completely convinced, but yeah, definitely a little bit off right now. And hope to be seeing him pick it up again. Otherwise, you know what, we're going to have Elaser versus Trap, which also, you know what, with Elaser playing like that versus TY, I wouldn't mind seeing here. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised with, you know what, Elaser going down to Estrella and then taking on TY seemingly that easy in a way, you know? It really does seem like a little bit of a reverse day or backwards day. How do you call that again?
I guess I have no idea.
Reverse day? Isn't that it?
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah. Or opposite day?
Opposite. That's right. Opposite day. Thank you.
Yeah. All right,
yeah, it seems like opposite day.
Okay, looks like, are you back on or?
I am back on, yes.
Okay, let me see. Are you in the lobby here or?
9. Not yet. Also, I always gotta move my thing here. There we go. Alright, nice. I'm joining the lobby right now.
Okay, there we go. Sweet. There's some debate here on the Twitch thing, kind of like debating on who the top Terran players are. I feel like Maru and Innovation are head on above the rest, but then there's this like the next tier where TY and Kier, possibly Kier, are kind of dwindling between the third place and the fourth place.
Yeah, it seems weird as well because I think it was 2 days ago, Special suddenly coming in. We still have Bjorn as well, as CynicalDeath is pointing out.
Oh yeah, I heard he's coming back like this September from military.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But you also hear he was placed #1 ranked on the Korean ladder at some point as well, while he's still in military service.
What?
Yep.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. So you know what? I have big hopes for him. And yeah, Eisen also making the point. We don't really know how Clem and Gabe compare either because they don't really they're not facing the same opponents. Clem, though, you know, it seems pretty unstoppable at this moment. Oh, Miguel leaves the lobby here. I'm not quite sure. StarCraft's having some difficulties overall. We got a remake. Everybody's asking. The French guy. Go crashed. I mean, I'm not willing to really... Okay, Quothus has it. Alright, that's nice. He can cover it. And he can also do a restream, right? So, yeah, overall, I feel like a lot of Terrans right now. I think Maru pretty much undisputed #1, right? By so many people, because he did manage to win GSL, like, how many times? 4 times in a row? Something crazy like that? 5 times? I don't even know. So, yeah, I feel like he's a little bit undisputed first rank here. And then there's so many other Terrans that are kind of like, they have their on days, they have their off days, and Inno did 2-0 Maru. That is true, but still, I feel like Maru just overall a little bit cleaner, a little bit, I don't know what it's just, there's just things that he does right that make him seem like head and shoulders above the rest of the players, like just those things that he did with planetary fortresses, getting Baneling busted, and then moving his SCVs into the planetary and unloading them immediately as well, trying to get as many as possible to the other side of the planetary. Stuff like that, right? That's just like he continuously just does, and yeah, it blows my mind. Anyway, at the 12 o'clock location, we are having a red Terran player in the top here. I don't know how he spawned here, but it looks like he did. So he is TY over here, and right now flying across the cliff as well over here.
And spawning at the top right, we have the blue Zerg player, and he's about to be hit by a bunch of Marines soon. It is a laser. Oh wow, he immediately knows.
How did he know? Oh, I guess... wait, how did he know? Did he see SCVs coming back from... with that Overlord?
Possibly.
He may have. That's the only way, right? That he could have had the inclination. Okay, well, he saw this was happening. So what's his response, right? TY isn't going to be able to just without Elaser realizing mess up on Marines here. There is going to be a response being prepped relatively quickly. 2 Spine Crawlers, 1 in the natural, 1 in the main. And mostly just Zerglings now on the production tab. 1 Spine Crawler already done. More Queens as well looking to be created here. So a little bit of a supply block for Elaser. So that might be detrimental here for this hold. Replacing these Spine Crawlers very close to the barracks as well. Time is ticking here for TY, I'd say.
Oh, he's pulling the boys.
Oh, what? Okay, this
He's going
is
all in on this. He's like, there's no turning back here.
That's right, there really isn't. If this doesn't work, he's pretty much out of the tournament here without getting a single victory. And honestly, with him, when we started today, I thought he was the favorite to win this one. After seeing him in that previous one, the previous tournament that we did have, it'd be crazy if he just gets kicked out here without a single win. But it looks like that's exactly what we're going into. Yeah, TY, it's not his day, man. It's not his day at all.
Well, at least he tried, but yeah, like you said, it just was not his day. And GG, Laser will take this.
Yeah.
2-0. Oh man, it's pretty crazy. TY, the first person to get eliminated in this group.
Yeah,
Oh,
honestly, we started off saying TY and Trap probably the favorites. Instead, we have Estrella going through first, and TY going through last. And Unholy 1-2 says that's why Team Y is tasteless, but I would disagree. If you look at how we played against Rogue, Ginek Green Wings Rogue, last time, which actually the same group in which Estrella was in as well, he crushed. He absolutely demolished. Estrella didn't have a chance against him in that group. And now for some reason, you know what? Maybe in favor for Estrella, he never really has to go up against TY. And hey, not NA. Yeah, we're playing on US Central. Not teamless. Teamless, not tasteless. Yeah, that's what I said. Well, at least I wanted to say. Why is teamless? I don't know. I always think about tasteless. That's, you know what? That's why I have this poster above my bed.
Like your idol.
Yeah. Photoshopped over, I don't know, some guy in a gimp suit or something. I don't know. Alright, anyway. This is weird. We're gonna have Trap versus Elaser now. I think Trap was just waiting on the Korean server being like, alright, well then, here we go. Yeah, Elaser won 2-0. He didn't just win against TY. He won 2-0. I was hoping to get to see this match, but... well, that was a bit underwhelming. Elaser going for a very quick 2-base muta play. Worked out marvelously well, and TY just not having a good response. Second game, TY trying to ramp up the aggression straight off the bat, coming in with a quadruple proxy racks on the other side of the map. Elaser got the scout off though. I'm still a little bit surprised actually that he sent, like, he didn't send 1 drone to scout his base. He sent like 5 drones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I still find a little bit, It's like he knew there were that many barracks being built. Then he moved them back. Maybe he thought there were 2 because he may have seen like 2 SCVs moving backwards from that top left side because he did have the Overlord on the other side of the map. But yeah, I'm kind of still interesting what kind of went through his mind there.
Yeah, it must be the Overlord spotting the retreating SCV. I can't think of any other logical reasoning.
Like, then still to send 5 workers to that side of his base, right? It still seems like a bit much. Because it could just as well be just a double Rex a little bit to the other side.
Yeah.
He just knew that it was on that side of the cliff.
It's really common on that map, I feel, because the map is the main base is quite large, so
Yeah.
floating barracks is actually a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but I love his
That's a
follow up
good idea.
defense. I mean, he threw down a spine crawler at the main mineral line as well as the natural mineral line. Funny enough, so he was able to have two spine crawlers, and then the SCV pool was a little bit questionable because you gotta remember that he's not going into the natural base. He's got to go walk his SCV into the main base, which it can get intercepted by the Lings before it can team up with the Marines. So that was a little bit of a questionable move there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Hmm. TY just not hitting his timing there, unfortunately. TY literally did that build versus Solar in GSL. It works out that time, didn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, it could just be a laser being prepped as well. Realizing, you know, a laser is one of those players that probably even for these types of tournaments, I would imagine he's going to be prepping pretty darn heavily. You know what, he is one of those players that just continuously wants to perform as best as he can. And I would be surprised, honestly, if he's not the guy that looked at the most recent replays from these players. You know what, he's the most likely guy to really try to get a read on his opponents here.
Yeah, and also some people in the chat is making a good, possibly a good point where they're saying that Ty might possibly be hiding some of his builds because he's got to play Dark tomorrow.
Yeah, could
So
be.
yeah, I think that's also another potentially good point there
Yeah.
that he might be just kind of not tilted, but maybe just like doing random builds, seeing it which works or something like that.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Honestly, that first game for Laser, he also kind of played more standard, straight up, didn't he? And then this game's a build that we already seen from him. So yeah, maybe he's just practiced on other builds, and then that could be the case. Yeah, it could be. What's happening to the Koreans? Losing passion already. I don't know, man. I don't know. Trap, I believe still that he's going to be able to bring it back here. But you know what? Alaza, just as much. I think he could very well be able to beat Trap. Trap, a completely different animal, a completely different beast from Estrella. Estrella, mentioned it a couple of times. He does have his own way of dealing with Zergs, especially in the late game or early late game, right? And that's exactly what we saw from him. Just going by his own pace, doing his own things now and again, and Trap a little bit more usual in this play, I'd say. A little bit more conventional. And I'm interested to see how well Elasa is going to be able to deal with that, because the conventional way of Protoss playing versus against the Zergs, I feel like is a bit more figured out for the Zerg at the moment, right? I think overall Protoss could start innovating a little bit more so and try different things now and again, in a way.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you can even see it reflected on the kind of the recent balance test mod, where there's a recognition that there is a bit of trouble for the Protoss in the late game against Zerg, so
Yeah.
they're kind of catering to Protoss to be able to handle the late game a bit better, I think.
Yeah, but even then, like they, Protoss kind of went into the early game, right? They tried to do a lot of early game aggressions and stuff like that, early game pushes with, great example, the Adept Glaive attack, right? The staple attack right now that people just continuously do, almost as much as we're seeing Widowmine drops in TVP, in a sense. Because, you know what, it always has a chance to work. It always does kind of have this little moment in time where it can get a lot of damage done. Especially on maps like these, right? If you get that hatchery block, it can do great. But the Zergs have figured it out so incredibly well, right? They've been having to play against it time and time again, and they've just figured out exactly every single timing, how many drones you want to have, how many links you want to have, when to start your Roach Warren, and exactly all those other things to follow it up with to still be safe against all those regularly used early pressures. That's why I feel like there's got to be some other stuff coming out of Protoss to kind of trip up that overall just normal build that they've grinded out so many times, these Zerg players.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of like the cycle, right? Like the Protoss will come up with a build, It makes the Protoss, kind of strong for the meantime being, and then Zerg learns how to defend it, and then Zerg gets
Yeah.
the upper hand, and then Protoss learn a new build, and it kind of goes over and over and over, and that's kind of like the cycle that has been throughout the history of StarCraft.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I like the way you put that. Anyway, any one of these you want to introduce, Snoopy?
Yeah, sure. Here at the bottom right is the red Zerg player, once again getting his natural denied. It is a laser.
In the top left is opponent for today. He actually is on an account not with a barcode, thank the Lord. He's the Blue Protoss. He's a Jinna, Green Wings, Trap. His Koreans always, especially Trap, very often on his barcode account.
Imagine if Trap had a YouTube Trap account.
Just a barcode YouTube account. Nobody ever know it was him. There's people like being like, oh, this seems like a fairly okay Protoss from the Korean server. I don't know who it is though, so yeah. I'll just stick with Harstem instead. Alright, a Stargate opening here for Trap. Now, it doesn't mean the end of things just yet for a laser, of course. He could get this scout off here, sees a secondary adept coming out of that gateway. Not moving his Overlord in just yet. Or, I'm not sure if he's noticed that one. Anyway, Trap now making a Stalker here. Of course, will deny the Overlord scouting later on.
It's actually quite reminiscent of the Australia versus a laser match, where it's on the same map, by the way, and laser got his natural denied, so he had to go for his third instead. And going for the same opening as Australia is the Stargate build. So we'll see if a laser does defend these Orcos as well as he did the first time around against Australia.
Yeah, looks like he is putting that circling again on the same spots here, trying to scout out for it. Also, a little bit reminiscent from that game, or the series of Australia versus Laser, is of course the Adepts getting a little bit of damage down. Australia, if I'm not mistaken, did in fact only send one and got 2 or 3. No, he got 2 drones, but he kept the Adept alive, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, but a little bit of a change up. Australia did wait for the second Oracle, but this time around, Trap, he's going for he's moving out with the initial Oracle. Does get 4 drone kills, so nicely done there.
Yeah, already 9 down here for Laser. Second Oracle shows up as well. Things are looking rather dicey. It looks as like the Oracles did avoid the vision of that Zergling, so the Spore Crawler's not as quickly here for a Laser. Not even a single one in the main base, only a single queen there as well. That could be trouble as these Oracles rotating on by. Looks like they will be going in for that juicy exposed mineral line right here. And that could be quite a bit of trouble. Lay attack is on the way. Yeah, Laser, look at that. Already just completely evacuating that mineral line there. Actually, a little bit perhaps unnecessarily. As he went in for the other base and kills off 5 more workers there. Damn.
Damn, right. Yeah. He's kind of causing a bit of trouble there for Laser in terms of the economy. We'll delay it. Now, I think luckily for him, I don't think this time around he'll get his a bunch of his drone stasis ward like what Australia did. But I mean, he's already has disrupted quite a large amount of mining time.
Yeah, look at that income advantage right now.
Oh yeah,
it's rather big.
You know what? I wanted to make a "that's what she said" joke, but I feel like I'm just gonna hold off on that.
Wait, what?
He said that's quite big. Let's keep it PG.
Yeah, that's right. Just kind of slightly mention it and then pretend like we didn't even go into it, right?
Yep.
That's it. That's the way to do it. A good way to do it as well is by saying somebody else said something bad, right? You can get away with a lot. Like I once heard this one guy saying that, you know what, a Laser not very good at all sorts of stuff. StarCraft 2. I'm not quite sure who said it anymore, but you know what, this one guy You know, and that's how you kind of... I'm not gonna get to blame as much right now. You see how that works?
Ah, yeah.
He is incredibly good. I just kind of took that as a thing. All right, guys. I'm not trying to say anything bad about Laser. I mean, he beat Cyril for God's sake not that long ago. He had some crazy games against Australia. Got really close, and now against he beat TY 2-0 too. So, I mean, he can't be complaining. And I think nobody can really complain about Laser's efforts into the StarCraft 2 scene. Anyway, a couple of roaches here coming on in. They shouldn't be able to get anything done, honestly, with the amount of Protoss forces here. Kind of realizes, and we are seeing the Dropper Lords again taking place. Bailing speed as well on the way. We'll have to wait and see what that is going to be happening here.
Yeah, Laser actually got a lot done with those bailing run-bys and those bailing drops against in the series against Australia. So we'll see if we can get kind of similar amount of damage done. But that time around, Australia did have a Phoenix to be able to kind of help defend against that. This time around, Trap has decided to not. And actually, he's going for a move out here, and there's not a lot except oh, actually, you know what? As the Bailing's rolling, never mind. It's actually quite has quite a lot.
Yeah, a lot of force fields as well, but there are those Ravagers with the force for a Laser. Laser comes in here. There is a Phoenix available, but the bailing speed not quite done just yet, so Laser will just have to drop them here on the a little bit less than he maybe wanted to get. 5 workers though, still respectable, but for the 4 bailings and the Overlord with the drop, I don't know, is that worth it? Is it?
I mean, he did pull some probes off, so.
Yeah, but overall, he lost so many workers, though. He lost 21 workers here in a sub 10-minute game. That's incredibly rough.
Yeah, that's quite rough. I mean, the worker supply is still relatively okay. The thing is that Trap did force a Laser to make a lot of units instead of drones because of that move out. But you still gotta give the edge in terms of the workers a bit to a Laser. And oh man, these Banelings roll in. Some nice force fields actually block some of these Banelings, so that could have been scary.
I think Sushi is talking to a bot. So I'm not sure if he's trolling or not, but it's like, you know, those bots that sometimes come in and are like, "Oh, I love your event. This is great. I'm gonna make a lot of stuff for you. Here's my portfolio."
Well, he might actually be a legit designer. So, I mean, if he is, then
it's still a bot though. Too. That's the thing. It's the fun part.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. What we're seeing right now, I think Trap's just slowly walking away with this one, right? Unless if all these paintings are gonna connect. Okay, well they do.
Got only one more storm left.
Huh.
Oh man, yes.
Stabilizes here. Actually, looking at the supply, that's looking pretty good. Sushi's recruiting non-stop. Yeah, that's right.
You know that will help lessen the workload for some always, though. I mean,
true.
If he was a legit designer. But anyhow, this War Prism, oh man, gets sniped down. Not paying attention there. And looking at the supply, a Laser enjoying a 94 to 62 army supply. Trap does have a +2 weapons upgrade advantage compared to the +1 melee of a Laser, but when you talk about the oh, actually, as I say that, the last Warpin does somewhat even up the army supply. So, I mean, yeah, it looks like a pretty even game as both players are continuously macroing up and getting their kind of army composition all together.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wondering when we're gonna see the transition into the hive tech here for a Laser. It's the one thing that has me a little bit worried that we're not seeing that that infestation pit just yet. Also, these paintings, I mean, I wouldn't say that's really worth it. Bainison in third base as well, though, might have more luck here. Oh my
god!
What is this? A big leg
Someone's
spike.
Someone's lagging. Oh,
Miguel.
Miguel.
Miguel, ay, ay, ay. It's the second time Miguel is dropping out here.
And just as soon as like the banelings are like almost connecting to those probes.
Okay, Trap's laughing about this. Girl's just happy that it's not her, and you know, me too, me too. Quarther still has the stream, alright. Mule vibes, yeah. Alright, that's unfortunate, of course. That's, you know what? We'll have to wait and see what will happen next.
You know, as I look at it, I think it would be okay if Trap does lose a bit of workers. He's at 80 currently 80 workers. I feel like, you know, maybe 70 to 75 is around the amount that you want. So it might not be a bad thing if you lose a bit of probes. Oh, and here we go.
He's coming. He's coming. You know what? I don't think this really changed anything with those probes, right? They were already on the move command to those mineral fields, and the banelings as well already chasing them with the move command. Yeah. So that is nice. I think, you know what? Maybe it sounds weird, but it was a little bit fortunate as well for both of these players, because also for us, as the lag spike happens right before the banelings start to roll in and right before the probe start to react, right? That's the worst part when it happens at that moment, because then it's always going to be that time where you're like, well, I mean, he did have a gazillion seconds here to start prepping for it. Oh, I like this though. More banelings this time around, splitting up really nicely. 13 workers falling at the same time though. Trap getting himself rid of that 6 base that Laser was trying to set up here. Immediately starts remaking it though, so that is always a very nice thing to do. More banelings everywhere for a Laser here. Up those zealots as well. In the middle of the map now, there is a bit of a move out for Trap. Looking to maybe prod his way forwards, try to keep a Laser in the middle here and not send as many banelings everywhere. Okay, this one again. On this left side, never really gaining too much value. Trap really increasing the overall SimCity here though, with those gateways and the cannons. So first, Laser is going to have to blow up the pylons here, perhaps to really get anything done at this moment in time. Oh, I love this control from Trap, though. Really minimizing his losses there. Snoopy, are you still here, actually? I'm not sure what happened, but you...
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, there you are.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure if that you didn't fall break off or something else like that. Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. But anyhow, we do see a attack here, a 2-prong attack by Trap actually, splitting some Archons down at the bottom side, as well as attacking. Oh, but the banelings get all those high Templar. Oh my god, that's a huge miss micro there.
There's a lot happening right now. Hydra's chasing down the Hydra, the Archons here. And I have to say, it's going a lot better this time around for Laser than it was going in that game versus Estrella. Trap is finding a lot of base skills as well, to be fair, but overall, the units lost tab, not looking that favorable. But then again, I suppose, like, continuously losing all those probes as well. 24 probes in total, it's not that bad, but for some reason, Trap's army supply just continuously not really being up to Laser's army supply, is it?
Yeah, but there is a nice little counterattack by Trap here that will further delay the counterattack by a Laser. So that should at least somewhat help Trap trying to muster up enough army force at home. He's currently making a mothership actually 50% done, but ooh, looks like this drop in the main base will get cleaned up relatively easily.
Yeah, and he's on 22 army supply now. Laser, he is getting himself the greater spy, so I'm not quite sure. He's probably not gonna move out anytime soon, right? Probably will wait for those Brute Lords now to be available. But yeah, you know what, Trap, I mean, if we look at the income advantage right now, it was in favor for Laser there for a while, but he just took out 1, 2, 3 bases here. And this one already recreated. Eliza doing a good job trying to get those back as quickly as possible. Oh, this is a nice catch as well. More prism in the top right. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean the army supply is still heavily in favor of a laser. So if he has a timing window where he can just straight out kill Trap, but if he lets Trap kind of continuously build up and macro up enough forces to defend, then it could spell trouble for a laser.
This is true. It's getting a little bit closer now. Yeah, Trap just never really got to expand to a 5th base, did he? More Banelings rolling on through here. I don't know, maybe he's overdoing it with the Banelings here a little bit now, but... yeah, well, he gets 4 more, maybe on this side. Okay, 10. That was a lot of Banelings, though. 123 Banelings right now have died this match.
Jesus Christ. That's a lot of Banelings.
Yeah, it definitely is, yeah. Okay, Trap, what are you doing? I'm not sure if this is I'm not sure if this is where he needs to be right now. Although the army supply is closer than it's been for a while after all those paintings dying across the map here, the storms are pretty darn good. Oh, he might be able to get something done. Let's wait and see here. Oh, the High Templar need to stay alive though. They're so close. Okay, transforms into an Archon. Will catch a lot of those paintings once again. But yeah, he just doesn't have enough here, does he?
Oh, yeah, he's even going to lose that mothership on the retreat.
Okay, Zealots, though, in this bottom left base at the same time. Does manage to get some more kills. War Prison joins in as well. Might be able to save some units here. Okay, just lets them die, but... you know what, on the top right now, those Darkons and the Immortal, apparently still here, are going to be able to kill off this base right now.
Oh, and yeah, the next recall
saves 2. No, only 1. And again, look at that army supply here for Trap.
Oh man, these High Templars all getting caught off guard. They were wandering out in the middle of nowhere, and that might be the end right there.
It could very well be. Yeah, this is a scary army lead. Now there used to be a lot of static defense here, full Trap, but it's been blown up continuously by all those banelings. So, now. Yeah, this is just a weird game, honestly. This is just continuously trading, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to unfold for either of these players. You know what? He's ahead with almost 100 supply now, so should be taking this one, right? Should be.
Would seem so, yeah. Pearl made a nice point in the chat saying all these Protoss units that were so expensive was thrown away. So if you keep throwing away all these expensive units, you don't have anything to defend at the end. And that's exactly where it stands, as the laser is streaming across the map. More Baneling kills coming into the 4th base, as well as a natural as these Baneling rolls in. But yeah, I don't think it's looking good. And GG, the laser will take this game.
He does take that one. Oh. Yeah, I'm a bit flustered as well. Right. Okay, there we go. I'm back. I'm a bit flustered as well with how Trap sometimes kind of seems like, alright, let me just move across the map here with all these High Templar. A couple of times it did feel like it was the right thing to do to me, because, you know what, Laser was getting all those bases, he was keeping Trap away from having that 5th base. So yeah, in a sense, you need to get something done, right? It's your win condition. You need to get something done. Otherwise, Laser is just going to run away with this game. He's just going to have an overwhelming amount of forces continuously as you're just sitting there on those full bases, slowly getting less and less of a chance to actually get something done. And to still kind of move across the map. Did have those Zealots in the bottom left side, right? At the same time, kind of getting some work done. You just kind of have to take those chances sometimes. But then as well, like you said, those High Templars, sometimes they were just out in no man's land. And yeah, that cannot just happen, especially if things are getting that scrappy, right? Every unit matters, especially very expensive units like that, such as High Templar.
Yeah, I mean, a laser has done really well with those Baneling run-bys, and those Bailing drops. It has really been his strength throughout the whole series against Protoss. And if you keep eking out advantage and value from those Bailings as the game goes on, eventually you just have too much that the Protoss can't handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And I guess he just did lose a couple too many probes now and again, right? From those Banelings continuously finding the probes. Now and again, it did start to feel a little bit like, you know what, you need to calm down with these Banelings, Laser, because this, I'm starting to feel like this just shouldn't work, but it did. You know? Sometimes people just overdo it with the Banelings. They continuously try to get the probe kills, and then they only get 5 for like 10 Banelings, and then they get 6 maybe for a couple less, but overall it becomes problematic because you don't really have you know what, the money anymore to create a follow-up army. But Laser walking that line very nicely, continuously still having more than enough at home to defend everything with. Kept a couple of Ravagers around for a really long time. Kept a lot of Hydras around for a long time. Just marvelously played. Alright, anyway. Here we have it. In the top right side. On match point right now, Polish Zerg from Agu Esports. He's a Laser. Is he going to be able to just continue onwards here and move on to group stage 2 together with his with our American Protoss, Estrella.
Yeah, here at the bottom left, we have the red Protoss from Junior. Wait, is he from Junior Green Wings? Yeah, right. Yeah, it is Trap.
Man, when we started today, if you would have told me this is how it's gonna go, right? This is how we're gonna have Estrella take on Trap and take on a Laser, both in a 2-0 fashion, and then afterwards we're gonna have ourselves a couple of games with Trap just completely wiping the floor with TY. I'd say like, alright, that's okay, that's fair, that makes sense, right? That fits into my realm of reality of StarCraft 2 knowledge. But then to have a Laser take on TY as well in a 2-0 fashion, which didn't seem close. Estrella moving on first, and now a Laser looking like he's gonna 2-0 Trap potentially as well. I'd say you're mad. I'd say you're cravingly mad, and you should go check your noggin out, right? But hey, here we are. And you know what? All I can say is really props to Estrella and the Laser here. Doing remarkably well against the two players that most people would say would be fairly favored.
Yeah, I think like you said earlier, I think either you're crazy or it's opposite day.
Yep.
Because you know, I think we would have probably, the likely scenario based on prediction was that TY would get out first and Australia would be eliminated at this point. But yes, the opposite day. But it's also great because insane results like this is what makes StarCraft so interesting. It's not like this. I mean, you know, in Brood War, you know, it's a bit more predictable, but because StarCraft 2 is a bit more volatile, there's more crazy, interesting results that can come out of it. So I love it. I mean, especially being that Australia, I mean, you know, a little bit biased here, Australia being part of Alpha X, but also, you know, Australia has been playing really well these past few months, getting a lot of training in Korea. I think he's very well deserved with the results.
Yeah, it's true. He's been playing a lot in Limo League as well, I believe. He's been just trying to farm out those kind of tournaments in Korea. He's been getting a lot of practice with those Koreans on the ladder as well. Of course, that's where a lot of them do their practice anyway. And yeah, well, today it worked out. It's interesting to see because Australia, in the, like I said, the other tournament that's still going on, right? He went 0-2 against TY, I think. Maybe 2-1. Anyway, the games that he lost didn't seem really close. And then he lost against a Rogue as well, which also didn't really seem all that close. And that's why I kind of was worried for him today overall. And this is just great full trap, actually. He's got the queens all the way around. And those queens now way off creep, actually. Well, they need to walk around all this way again. And that's going to be potentially quite a bit of damage, actually, being taken here by Laser. Look at this amount of damage, actually. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why Laser walked all that way around there with the queens. Definitely, I'd say a little bit of a mistake here, but... maybe this would have happened anyway. Maybe this was inevitable already. And GG. GG. Trap ties it up again. You know what? Maybe we were too soon to calling this one. Trap brings it back.
Yeah, and so we're gonna head into our ace, the third and final game, to determine who will be the last person to advance to the playoffs.
I really didn't think that would happen that way. Honestly, I thought Laser, he did all the right moves. He had his Roach Warren. He had a good amount of queens. He had a good amount of Zerglings. He should have been okay. He should have been okay in that situation. His queens got misplaced a little bit, perhaps, if I could say that. They really didn't get the value they wanted to. The Zerglings, they got a bit bamboozled as well, right? They were trying to catch up with the Shade, but the Shade, it looks like it got there a little bit before the Lynx actually did. So all the Adepts were in this little tiny choke, and the Lynx didn't really gain their value, right? They never really dealt the damage that they potentially can, as long as they stay underneath the Shades. And yeah, that just kind of means that Trap wins that one, just straight up, right? Just a small little micro mistake, and that just goes into the favor for the Protoss player.
Yeah, the queens were kind of lagging behind, trying to chase the War Prison. So the Adept were actually getting really good, efficient trades against those Lings. And then by the time the Queen caught up, it was like, yeah, the War Prism is gonna just fly over and continuously warp in some more Adepts. And by that time, the Adepts were or shading into the main base. So yeah, just really nicely done there. A really good, solid build by Trap. And yeah, we'll see if Laser can answer back as we head into Everdream.
It was great splitting as well of those Adepts, right? He had some in the third base, some in the natural, some in the main base, just everywhere. Everywhere where they needed to be. Great stuff overall here. And a third game will be taking place. You know what? Trap might not be out of this one just yet. We may have two Protoss moving onwards here. Into that group stage, the second group stage, which is nice because in the other tournaments we only have one, we only have one Protoss in the second group stage. So yeah, all right. It's a good time for StarCraft, it seems. Just overall, a lot of stuff can happen. It can go both ways, and honestly, I think the balance right now seems to be pretty on point. No, people don't like to hear balance talk, so hearing that it's on point, seemingly, you know, that seems like a good thing, right? Anyway, 1-1. There we go. In the bottom left side, Jinna Green Wings is Protoss. It's the blue one right here. It's Trap.
And here, spawning at the top right, we have our Polish Zerg player. It is a Laser.
Right. Now, yeah, that was the more common opening. And, hey, that's interesting. Pro just barely getting here in time to get a hatch block, but the Laser already having a drone on the low ground. I'm not sure if he kind of anticipated this and thought, like, you know what, if he gets here, I'll just be quicker at that third base and this won't be as delayed. That could be the case, and then he still can kind of keep going with the same amount of drones as he would normally have. So he's a little bit less delayed here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason why a lot of Zerg players go for a quicker hatchery timing, because they don't want to wait for the probe to come over and block them. It could be quite annoying. So sometimes you see Zergs going for maybe a 15 or 14 hatchery or something like that.
Yeah. Not the case here though. Laser going another route, so pretty cool to see a little bit of deviation there, perhaps a little of his personality to shine through, I suppose. Not willing to give up that little bit of extra economy squeezing out those extra drones before going for the hatchery, but just kind of finding a middle ground where you have that drone in between the natural and the third base. Kind of like, alright, well, if you're gonna block me, I'm not gonna be that upset about it, right? It's not gonna be that delayed by having to move all the way from the natural to that third base. Or you know what, especially if you're coming down the ramp, right? Just as you're having 300 minerals ready to build that hatchery, and then you see that probe there, that's just the worst, right? Because then you have to walk all the way to the third base, and then you get there with like 450 minerals in the bank, and you're like, oh god, this is incredibly wasteful.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's actually a nice thing there from a laser. Something that if I start playing some more Zerk, I might try to do myself as well.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we have actually a Twilight Council once again for Trap. You think this is going to be the same build as last game?
I'm not seeing the Robo just yet, but he doesn't have the money for it. You know what? I think so, yeah. I think so. I mean, there's not much else you can really do with that Twilight, right? It could still be Dark Shrine in a way as well. That's another opening that could come out of this, but it's pretty much those two right now that honestly the only two things I'm expecting for Trap.
Yeah, I mean I think with the 2 probes on each gas here, I definitely is going to be a same build as last game. It's going to be the 4 gateway adept timing once again. I mean, it worked last game, so it could work definitely for this game. We'll see if this defense is a bit better. Now the thing is, he needs to start creeping between the dirt and the natural, because it's going to be really important for his queens to move back and forth against these depth shades.
That's a good call, yeah. Another thing to note is that, of course, this map, it does have a different layout than Zen. It's very unlikely that the queens will run after the War Prism here on the low grounds and then get stranded there. Right, I don't think that's going to happen as quickly here. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like this. I feel like the Adept Glaive attack has been kind of figured out. It did work still the previous time, but I think that was more so because of a slightly micro from a laser, rather than just because, you know, it's overall strength of the build. Laser this time, again, look at that. Just having these links coming out at the perfect time. 16 links right now, about to pop that. Roach Warren as well. In construction, he's even putting down a spine crawler right now as an extra added defense. But yeah, with these amount of links, he should be able to just stay on top of the shades here. The queen should be able to tank the adepts overall. He's actually coming after all of those adepts. So, you know what? Actually, I thought he would leave the queens here at the third base a little bit more so to defend it. Yeah, so this might again do a whole lot of damage. Those adepts shading into the main base now, with the War Prism being there as well. Alright, yeah, looks like it's once again gonna start spiraling out of control here. A laser did not manage to keep up with the first initial wave of adepts, and it's now being punished for it. He only lost 3 workers so far, so you know what, Trap's still looking to do a little bit more. But with the adept number growing like this, I would be surprised if he doesn't get any more.
Yeah, he's losing roaches little by little. Oh my god, is he gonna actually lose this hatchery to adepts? That would be so funny.
Yeah, it could be. Nice positioning here, once again, between the mineral patches. And we'll be shading on out of here towards that natural base as well. Killing off more workers, delaying more mining here. Links coming in, but once again, nice trading there for the adepts against the links as the roaches are trying to catch up. More adepts into the main base as well. Looks like he will be able to kill off this hatchery. Oh, transfuse coming in just in the nick of time, but 10 works more fall here, so 13 works in total. With 58 Zerglings, 3 roaches, and a whole lot of lost mining time for the price of 16 adepts. I think, you know what, I think he's done his work here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's got his third base up. Got the army supply is pretty much even. And he's got a hell of a worker lead, 45 to 32. So
yep.
definitely Traps games to lose.
For certain. Yeah, and Laser here looks like he is going to just continue onwards with the overall drone production, so he doesn't feel maybe that he's lost too much, and does still want to kind of continue onwards in the later parts of this game. But yeah, it's all to play for. Well, of course, this is the match where it all comes down to. That's what I'm trying to say. If he loses here, he's going to be out of the tournament. So he kind of has to, right, in a way.
Yeah, and by the way, the top 8 gets minimum prize pool of 75. So if you can move on to the next stage, then you can, you can get some money at the or guarantee some sort of money prize if you move on. But yep, whoever loses this is definitely gonna go home empty-handed.
I love this little attempted ambush here from a laser. I think that's a great way to potentially come back into this, you know? Just kind of unburrow all your forces suddenly on top of those sentries like this. That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, the observer right on top of it. Okay, a laser does move this little ambush away from this location. I'm not sure if he saw the observer there, but... oh well. Templar Archives as well. Yeah,
I think with a laser behind, he's gonna try to. I mean, he's playing down his Baneling's nest, so I think he's gonna try to somehow, some way, get back to the game with the Baneling run bys, which has been really great for him throughout the whole night or day or afternoon wherever we are. But I just don't see how with Trap, with all these immortals, with these sentries. I'm just not sure if will be able to be as effective as the previous games with I'm referring to the Baneling run bys.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he did also grab a 4th base. He also is making more drones right now. So at least he's not putting all his eggs in that basket, right? He is still continuing onwards. His work account now at 73. Army supplies kind of equal. And Trap really hasn't been pushing this advantage that he did find himself with, right? He's still in the full bases. He is getting a lot of tech though, right? That's the one department where it's really steamrolling forwards in. He's got better upgrades, he's got better overall tech available. But other than that, hasn't really been pressuring with those sentries and the immortals to force a laser not to make drones. And that timing is kind of slowing down here, or like closing down in a way, right? Because a laser now on his 81 workers, and now he's going to start making his army supply here. He's been able to drone up rather nicely overall, and yeah, I don't know if Trap made the best choice to kind of stay back for this long, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was. I was thinking you might been waiting for the Storm to finish, but it looks like Storm has finished a few seconds ago or a minute ago. He's still not moving out, so I think he might be waiting to establish his 4th base, and then once that is done, while he making the cannon and all, he's going to move out. At the same time, he is doing a counter or a drop into the main base. Baneling's rolling by into the 3rd base at the same time, so action going across the map, and oh my god, look at all that probes going down. Ugh.
That's nice for Laser here. Of course, now he still needs to hold on. His army supply not really up to snuff here. Especially with all those Banelings on the other side of the map, sacrificing their lives for the Swarm. The warp in the main base. A little bit too much for a Laser to handle as well. So he will start losing this 4th base. Might be okay with the overall damage that he dealt, but now, you know what, this main base still taking more damage, still losing more stuff, still more stuff being warped in. And yeah, Trap, his main army here at the bottom still. Nothing truly here to stop this.
Yeah, the dangerous part is that all his High Templars are full energy, so even if a laser cleans up this army, it's going to be a really efficient trade for Trap.
Yeah, for sure. So that was, you know what, I think that was most of what Trap had to do there. He does back off, yeah. He may have been able to kill off another base, perhaps. But he plays it safe, he plays it cool. Doesn't want to just suddenly get bopped, right? By a big Zerg wave of units. Actually, no, he does recommit here. Alright, you know, in we go. That's a lot of banelings, but you know what? They don't do that great against Archons and Immortals. Not finding those High Templars. They are at the backside still. Nothing hitting on those, and I think it's going to be it. There it is. GG is called. We have ourselves a second victor of the day. Trap brings it back, and order has been restored to the universe. Everything, you know, it still kind of makes sense overall. At least we have one of the Koreans moving on here that were, well, as we started off, the favorites to move on here. But yeah, we have to commend Laser there, giving one hell of a show, giving a great overall couple of matches there for us. And, well, it's got to be quite unfortunate for him that he did lose against Straya there. So, alright. Anyway, that's all the games for today. We will be continuing tomorrow, of course. We're going to be having ourselves more players and more games to happen. Let me quickly get all of that together. Any final thoughts on today here, Snoopy? Anything you want to close it out with?
Yeah, just want to congrats to all the players that played today. Also those that are moving on to the next group stage. This is of course a tournament dedicated to CynicalDeath. So hopefully CynicalDeath. Hopefully you enjoyed the games, and yeah, we definitely appreciate you and your hard work.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, guys, if you want to see the rest of this tournament, check out tomorrow. Let me quickly get this in the screen right here. The next group that we will be taking a look at will be these guys right here. Zest, Reina, Cure, and Rogue. That seems like a hell of a couple of series as well. Gonna be taking place there.
That's a sick group there.
It definitely is. Yeah, there's nothing to be complaining about that one, is there? So yeah, look at those guys. Take a quick glance at those times as well. 3 p.m. CST, 10 p.m. KST, Wednesday 20th. That's tomorrow, Group B. If you can't make that one, don't be afraid, guys. We still have so much more to come as well. Group C on May 23rd, Group D on the 24th. This is Saturday and Sunday, all starting in the morning. And on Friday, of course, we have the other tournaments as well, continuing onwards. That is the into the Alpha X Pro Circuits number 2 as well. I don't have that one here right now. Might be able to just, yeah, it's fine actually. We'll be able to. You'll guys see tomorrow. We'll promote that one a bit more. But now we have tomorrow, of course, as the main thing we need to look at. Actually, it starts 3 o'clock tomorrow here. So yeah, keep that in mind for the European folk. It's actually almost exactly 24 hours from now. That's kind of fun.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, Zest, Rainer, Cure, and Rogue. I'm hyped for that one. I'm hyped for that one. Any predictions for that one, Snoopy?
I mean, with the group that stacked, I mean, really anything could happen. I just hopefully, you know, we're gonna get some great games, and yeah, hopefully we'll. I mean, I'm really looking forward to casting tomorrow's group.
All right. Yeah, same with me. Thank you for joining me for today. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, guys. Hope you had a good time so far. Big shout out again to CynicalDeath. I haven't thanked him enough yet, and you know what? He's much appreciated. Always there to help out everybody that followed in as well. Makers Flaffy, Flaffly, sorry, Flaffly, Dreadsky, Brendan, Die Madcat, Pierre, Gomobo, Rumi New, Milka, Oath Catch a Breath. Bragg Ball, GG, White Weasel, all of you guys, very appreciate all the attention we're getting from you. And thank you for the follows. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for checking us out. And yeah, everybody, have a great day. We're going to be looking for somebody to raid. As I'm just going to put on the pre-roll, well, the after roll here, I suppose we should call it, with the new bracket up. All right, guys, so have a good one. See you tomorrow, all right, in 24 hours. See you then. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.
Nuclear